Happy Friday, everybody. How's it going? We got Russ from Retro Game Core hanging out with us, doing some streaming action here. We have Rob, the Retro Tech Daddy, and Aish from Aish Talks Tech. Gentlemen, how you doing?
Good. It's Friday. Good. It's Friday here in Hawaii too, so everything's good.
It's so weird. It's so weird streaming on a Friday because I'm like, oh, it's Monday. Here we go. I've worked tomorrow. It's like, nope. It's the weekend.
I know, it's so nice. It's the weekend. I'm
right?
So happy.
Well, we just all got in this bad boy, the RG406H. There's so many. Takes me a second.
I've been calling it the RG406H.
The Aish, yes.
The Aish, the return of the Aish.
It's what it should be called. I fully support this. I made this handheld. Sorry, everyone. I'll be better next time.
Is that why it's got those analog sticks on it?
Why'd you make the sticks so tall, man?
Yeah,
because they're
shortcomings.
No, they're better that way. I messed up on the shoulder buttons though, but the sticks are perfect. I don't know what you guys are talking about.
We'll get into this.
Yeah, we will.
Much like the Mike Tyson, Logan Paul, is that his name? Fight today. We're going to be duking it out over opinions on this handheld. Also, if you're going to that, which starts, I guess, pretty soon, just don't. Stay here. Let's talk retro gaming.
Just leave it playing in the background.
Yeah, we can put it on my CRT is what we can do. You can watch the guys go boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it'll be good.
I mean, that one's scripted. This one isn't. This is going to be more fun.
Yeah,
that's true.
Yeah. People keep telling me that. I'm like, really? Don't they legitimately just fight each other? Do they already have a predetermined winner, you think?
No, but then you have Mike Tyson, so you don't know if he's really going to stick to the script. I'm hoping no. Like, that would be just amazing. Like, we just tune in and Mike Tyson just went Mike Tyson on him. I would love that.
Mike Tyson is so fascinating. I was reading about him. He's like a really well-read. Like when he went to prison and stuff, he was like reading deep philosophy and stuff. Like he pulls up these quotes that are amazing, but he also cannot stop his own worst feelings too. You know what I mean? And so he's this huge contradiction. I love it. And so
I want
I will be watching that show afterwards.
Audiobook read by Mike Tyson. I would love that.
I'll be watching that too. All right, guys. Well,
we should Stubbs. You should do this stream talking to Mike Tyson about the 406H.
I can't even. I'm not even gonna try to mimic. I'm not even gonna try to mimic Tyson. I mean, I can mimic like Yoda. Like I can do that voice. 406H does not make one great. But I'm not gonna. Well, see, we can do Mike Tyson's Punch Out. There you go. But let's have a punch out of our own. Punch out of the clock of the work week and punch into some fun with some retro gaming on the 406H. Now, on the 406H, this one has a 960 by 720 screen. Was that right, Russ?
Correct. Yeah.
4x3. That's fun. Russ had a deep dive, in-depth review, which covered a lot of good gameplay. So we're going to, as best we can, skip all those games. Let's just skip those. Don't need to do Halls of Torment. I got that covered on Android. If you needed that one covered, I got you on my first look. And also, stay tuned for Aish's upcoming review and Rob's. But I don't know what you guys, but I had some reservations about how tall these sticks were. But I really have enjoyed just like the general feel of the whole thing. Like just it all kind of comes together really nicely. And I didn't prefer these loud clicky shoulders on top. I put some electrical tape underneath, and now they're totally fine. They're a lot more subdued. So,
still too loud for me.
Aish says he's going to make it zero sound.
I'm trying to figure it out. Like if I can figure this one out, I'm going to do the 556, and that'll be better. Because I don't know why Anbernic keeps doing this.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
I didn't even until you guys brought it up, like in chat. I was like, loud. I'm like, what does that even mean? Loud? Like. I didn't even think of it as being loud. You know what I mean? Like it didn't even register to me. I'm like, well, it's fine. It's just a
Did you hear how loud mine were, at least in my video? Like, did you just?
Well, I like how you and I both have the same thing, where our purple and white unit have a subtle difference between the sounds.
And why are
in my video? I was like, hey, here's a difference between the two, and it's exactly the same. It's like Pam on The Office. Like they're exactly the same. But I'm like, there's a difference about 10%, and I can hear it, but you won't be able to.
I don't know. I feel strongly about that one. I felt like I definitely heard a difference between it drove me a little crazy. I had to tear down this handheld. I had to stop everything and tear down the handheld, even though I was in a rush to get the video out. I was like, I must stop this sound from happening.
No, it's just
Maybe
for
it's
me.
my- maybe
Anbernic
it's my
makes
unit.
Anbernic can make some really good like membrane shoulder buttons. So I know they can do better. And when you look at the PCB and you just see those little micro switches welded on there, it's like, come on, guys, like, give me a little bit more effort there. Because the RP5 and the Mini, they're clicky too, but the click feels and sounds different. It's not the same. Like this just feels like something you would expect from like the XX line, something that's going to be like sub $90, like 70, $80. And yeah, I can live with that. But if you're getting close to $200, I kind of want a little bit more.
Right.
Yeah. It's weird because there's such a strange combination there, because if you go and try to buy one of those $200 Razer Xbox controllers, they have the clickiest freaking buttons, you know, and people are like, look, clicky buttons, this means it's worth $200, right? Where we're like, hey, it's clicky, this is like garbage. And so it's so hard to tell what some person likes versus another, you know. It didn't even register to me, but yeah, I can totally see that. I like that, you know, that Stubbs, you came up with some sort of solution just in the first day. I think that's great.
I had no choice, Russ. I had no choice.
This one's going to be tricky because
necessity is the mother of invention. Is that what they say?
Yeah,
in the old days.
Sounds about right.
Sorry, Aish, what were you saying?
I was just going to say, like, this one's tricky because it's see-through. So whatever you put in there has to look nice. If it was the solid color, not big of a deal. But I think if you're really, really into super clicky controllers,
my
you're
tape looks
probably not playing at night, or you're single. It's one of the two.
Well, it's always like it's interesting because there's always a disconnect on the device itself. The face buttons are really quiet. The D-pad's really quiet.
Yeah.
And then you get these clicky shoulder buttons. It's like, why is it just not consistent across the board? Why do we have the clickiness there? It's like,
well, I think that actually is very similar to the sticks, because this handheld feels like a pocketable handheld, and then they put the tallest sticks they could imagine on it, you know. And it's like, at what point did they make the decision, like, actually, it's no longer going to be pocketable, we're just going to make big sticks on it, you know? Like, it doesn't fit with the design language of the rest of it, like with the 406V. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, this is a little upsetting, by the way. Like, I saw this and I was like, I feel uncomfortable.
So isn't it me, or does it do these sticks feel better on the H over the V? On the V, it felt really awkward having those tall sticks, but it actually feels a little better here on the H. I don't know if that's just me or
no, they feel like the travel's the same, but the placement makes it feel different. Yeah,
the placement makes it feel a little better, more natural, like way your thumbs rest versus like on the vertical one. It kind of was just weird. I don't know.
Right, because you're already stretching to get to the vertical ones, and now you don't have to. It's just there. Yeah, I don't mind. It does remind me of, like, this is like an Xbox handheld, if that makes any sense. Like, it feels like an Xbox controller mixed with a Chinese retro handheld. Like, it's just kind of that mix. It doesn't have like the bottom grips like a real controller would, but that's what it kept reminding me of, just the overall feel of it.
Yeah. Well, internally, these sticks and the ones on the Retroid ones are the same as the ones on the Ally. So if you just make them taller, they're gonna feel that much better. Because I've taken apart both of them, and yeah, they're pretty much the same sticks on both of them, except the original Ally ones aren't Hall effect, and the Legion Go for that matter. You can take the cap off those too. But
you know, someone was asking in the chat earlier about whether or not changing out the caps would make it lower. I did try that in my video. I ended up not keeping it in the footage. It makes it slightly lower just with if you use like the Retroid ones. So if you were to buy those, but really what you're going to have to do is actually like cut off this plastic part. I don't know if it's going to autofocus.
Yeah, it's the actual peg itself that's tall.
There you go. Yeah. So you have to cut that a little bit, and then you could put that on, and it'd be better. So
it's actually the same height as Retroid. And the caps too. If you measure the sticks, they're pretty much exactly the same.
Higher, that's why.
Yeah, it just sits higher. Which personally I like. I always on something like the RP5 or the Odin and the other Retroid handhelds. I wish they were a little bit taller. I feel like they're a little too low, which kind of makes them feel like the treble isn't there. I don't know if that makes sense for like bigger games, for like shooters. Whereas this one feels like you can have pretty good aim. Except I don't know if you guys have had this issue where the right stick feels a little bit weird if you're using the right trigger to play like first-person shooters. Like, it just feels a little like it's a little too low.
Bit here to give some leverage.
You said
it's missing that little bottom part.
Yeah, like the stick is a little bit too low and there's no grip on this side.
Yeah, but if you have it any higher, your thumb's gonna bump against it when you're pressing the B button.
Oh no, yeah, I know. It's pretty much in the best spot they could probably get it on this side. I'm just saying for like first-person shooters, if you're playing like Warzone doesn't actually load, but like Call of Duty, you don't really have enough of a grip here.
Warzone wasn't working for you?
Nah, it just keeps crashing.
Oh shoot! Okay, I haven't tried it yet.
I don't think it's gonna work. It doesn't work on every handheld.
Okay. So no Warzone, but do we get COD Mobile?
I haven't downloaded that one yet, but I'll have to.
Let
I
me
can
get
do
it.
it. Mobile. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get COD Mobile. I know that that was a question.
So
from, I
it
think,
starts
Reddit.
up, but when you press, when you accept like the terms and start downloading the rest of it, it'll crash like halfway through.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me get. Let's see. I'm
You know,
gonna pull my
I actually think
screen
I
up here.
like long-term use with the trigger on this device over, like, say, like the Mini, for example.
There we
It's a
go.
little
There
bit
we go.
less awkward, I think, to hold, like just long-term.
Yeah.
If you're holding it in that position with the analog sticks and then the trigger. So I do think this one's a little bit more comfortable in that sense.
Yeah, no, I do see myself adapting to this. It really is. It just feels like an RG Cube when it comes down to it.
Yeah.
Just with these different sticks, you know, is what I kind of feel like. And I don't know, because it's wider, it just feels more comfortable, like with my shoulders and stuff too, just a little bit. But it's enough that I can tell the difference. Where I'm like, all right, this is like a little bit more comfortable. Yeah.
I do think the Cube is a little bit more comfortable for me because
COD
it's taller.
Mobile.
That's the only reason why I feel like
COD.
because it's a little bit taller.
COD.
You get
COD. COD. I said COD.
Why?
Oh my god.
I've never.
COD Mobile.
It's so funny.
God.
God. Just say Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
I feel like you could have typed this by now. Like you would already be
I'm
downloading.
trying
it
to,
at this point.
dude. I'm a reviewer. I'm trying to.
I
I'm trying
know.
to be thorough. Yeah, I'm trying to test the microphone. People might want to know: does it work? Does it understand what COD is? No, nobody does. But we are getting Call of Duty Mobile Season 10. And what's up with these seasons? Like, what season? What does that
Cash
mean?
grabs.
Yeah,
Cash
pretty
grabs.
much.
Get our new box.
All right.
I don't know. Every time I launch that game, I get so overwhelmed by the menu. Like it's just so much stuff happening.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Fortnite. There's like 100 different things on screen, and I'm like, I don't know where to go from here.
It's still personally, I think it's still probably the best game on Android though. I like Call of Duty Mobile more than Warzone.
Interesting. I actually like Warzone more. It feels
Yeah, I love Warzone.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, it's
Warzone is fine, but I feel like it takes longer to really get into like an actual match because the fields are so big. Whereas with Call of Duty, if you have,
Well, you know
like,
what I
10,
do for
15
that
minutes,
one?
just go right in.
What's the 6v6 mode called? Is it Mosh Pit or whatever it's called? That's
I
the one
haven't
I usually
tried
go into. That's
Okay.
more my kind of speed. The smaller maps and the smaller teams and whatnot.
I haven't tried that version yet.
Yeah,
But,
definitely give that a shot.
oh,
It's
yeah.
a lot of fun. It's more
I've been-
like classic Modern Warfare kind of online.
Okay, I've been playing zombies on COD lately.
Zombies is great. I love
Yeah.
that.
Calvin,
So,
thank you for your super chat, by the way. Can't play Wuthering Waves on Android. I can get that downloaded. We can see.
Evil Land probably won't work, by the way.
Evil Land won't work?
Controllers, it only works with an Xbox controller, and Anbernic doesn't spoof unless they fixed it.
Let's see if Aish eats his words, everybody.
I hope I
we go.
do.
Here we go.
They fixed it. It's never worked.
I just saw the explosion emoji
See?
right now.
See,
It's
toxic got hit.
never. It's never
so happy
worked
right now.
on an Anbernic handheld because they don't spoof an Xbox controller.
Well, we'll see.
I'm glad. Wait, so will the controller work?
Stubbs
on,
gets to be right for once. Okay,
on Call
here
of Duty now?
was it? This is the first Evo.
No, that's been like a widely reported issue with that game.
I've
where
never had
people
an issue
get it.
with this game. I've never once not had the controls work. That's all I'm
Well,
saying.
the Retroid ones and those and most can do like telescopic controllers now. They spoof an Xbox or a PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
The Anbernic ones didn't. They just registered as like a retro pad or something like that, so they wouldn't work.
Okay. Well, I haven't tried it on every handheld.
I love
Maybe-
that game, so I try it on everything.
Me too. Look at that. I love when it turns to color and you get each, additional
See,
layer.
Retro Funtech is saying the same thing. That game never works on
Oh.
like with Android controllers.
So we're both right and wrong.
Yes,
fine.
but this is good though. I'm glad Anbernic did that.
Yeah.
It's okay. I had a blunder too. I thought Hyper Light Drifter didn't support controllers because whatever device I used to test it on, it just didn't work with that game. But it actually has the same thing where it needs Xbox input for it to work properly.
Yeah.
So I learned something new today too. So I was like, oh, this is awesome.
Hey Russ, man, if we hit a game that's in your review, can you just bug me and say, we don't need to waste your time on this.
Yeah, I didn't really test many Android games, just your standard Stardew Valley and Dead Cells.
I saw most of them.
Beach Buggy Racing too. Make sure you don't download that one.
I listened more than I watched, and I think you had a bunch of games playing while you were talking.
Man, that was my game testing part of that video was only about 10 minutes long, and that was probably 8 hours of footage that I crammed into 10 minutes. I'm sure you
edit. How do you edit that so fast?
So what I do is I get the footage, the raw footage in, and then I will cut it all up into like playable segments, and so that you don't have to see me browsing through the menus. And then that ends up being about 2 hours long. And then I record my voiceover where I'm talking about the experience, talking about each game, blah, blah, blah. And then I just cram all that down to fit whatever I was talking about. And that's why it's always flipping between games, is because I've taken 8 hours, condensed it into 10 minutes. And so that's kind of the way I do it. That process takes forever, but I love doing it because it's so cool at the end where it's like just game after game after game after game. You know what I mean? Like I just love that.
Yeah.
That's what I did for my Switch showcase I just did, where I just I sit down and I have everything ready to go, and I just launch the games. I keep going through all of it, and then I clip it all out. And it's probably the most efficient way to do that, honestly.
I keep wanting to make
the day before it. Even the day before, I'm sitting on the couch. We watched the entire season of Agatha all along. And the whole time I'm booting up games, getting to a part, making a save state,
that's
booting up a game,
much what I do.
And I just do that over and over for another 8 hours on top of that to get all this stuff. So that way I'm not wasting 16 hours making the footage. So yeah, there's a lot of work involved in getting all this random gameplay.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's amazing how 10 minutes of gameplay footage in a video is several hours worth of work. I mean, easily several hours worth of work.
That's kind of the longest part of recording, at least for me, because then you have to get in like a good spot on it. It's frustrating. I keep wanting to make like the performance videos for the RP5, but I'm waiting for the update to come out.
Yeah, it's so hard with that stuff too, because the performance tells a story. And so like say I'm playing a game and there's a part that bogs down. Do I show that part and then give people the impression that there's something wrong, or do I show the other 99% of the parts where there was nothing wrong? And so it's hard to find that and kind of manipulate it in the right way to tell the right story. And so that's always one of the big challenges for me too, is finding those right moments.
Yeah. Well, the payoff is awesome, man, because you get, like you were saying, you get that carousel of games. Then once the final footage is there, it's worth those hours of doing that. That's something I want to think about more. So COD Mobile is working okay. As usual, though, since this doesn't report as an Xbox controller.
No, you have to get past the tutorial part before you use controllers.
Can you switch? What if you switch in the menu here to the Xbox?
You can try, but normally, unless something changed, because now apparently things change, it won't let you use controllers in the tutorial. You'll have to get past the tutorial and then get into like one of the first matches, and then it'll say you're going to play with other.
Okay, I thought I was
going to move the controls. Sometimes it'll give you a pop-up and it'll say, "Hey, no, you got to finish the tutorial first."
Yeah,
so
I've had
that'll happen too.
I've had that happen too.
That tutorial is short though. You can. It's like 5 minutes tops, and you just get through it.
I'm not even. I'm not getting a response here from the left side though. I am on the right.
No, wait. You might not be able to move your. Can you? What's telling you to do?
What's it telling me to do? Oh, it's telling me to pick up the assault rifle. See?
Yeah, there you go. That's why you can't move yet.
Something's wrong with the screen.
You just got to read the instructions, everybody. That's step one.
Touch screen.
Touch screen not working.
Instructions unclear.
Well, it's hard. I gotta like get my face down and move to the next.
You're not supposed to use your face on the touch screen.
Yeah.
No.
One thing I was going to mention as we were talking about first-person shooter games is like the thing that really excels with this thing is playing 4x3 first-person shooter games.
Yeah,
there were quite a few. You think about something like Red Faction 2 on PS2 or Time Splitters 2. Like
Black.
You've got
Warhammer on
Black has unfortunately like it's hard to run on this chipset. But
I know.
That
Black
would be
is one of my favorite go-tos. I love that game.
Yeah. And so that's where I found I'm like, oh, this is so awesome. I was playing Time Splitters 2. I ended up playing that for, I don't know, like 25 minutes. That's why I have 8 hours of footage, because I was like having fun. And and I was just like, man, this is probably the best way that I've ever played this game, Time Splitters 2. And so, I think that'll be a lot of fun. The GoldenEye games on GameCube and PS2, like those are pretty sweet. So, yeah.
I actually prefer shooters to be in like a 4x3 aspect ratio versus something really wide, because I feel like you can kind of focus more on what's going on in front of you. It's like when I play Call of Duty on my iPad, that's why I like it, because it's more of that like 4:3 ish kind of aspect ratio. So I'm excited for this one. If the controllers actually work, because I don't like playing Call of Duty with screen mapping.
Yeah, me too. I didn't even do any screen mapping in my review because I was like, people who want to do that stuff, they'll know at this point. You know, it's all about really finding those supported games, and that experience is just so much better. So.
Yeah, they're already like 10 grand in on Genshin Impact. Like they don't need our help for that.
I am happy that Wuthering Waves added controller support, which was nice. They did that a few months ago or a few weeks ago, I guess.
Can one of you guys do you mind getting Wuthering Waves on your device? We can switch to that in a second.
That's gonna probably be
that's like a Genshin Impact, like 10 gigabyte
huge
download.
Yeah, it's not the fastest either, regardless of how fast your connection is.
Yeah, I would do it, but it would tank this stream on my end because I don't have a lot of bandwidth to work
I'll try.
with. So.
I'll try in a little while.
Stubbs is just having fun playing Call of Duty.
Sorry, I'm just playing Call of Duty Mobile right now. Boom.
Yeah, somebody in chat asked it. Isn't it kind of weird that nobody got the black
that is kind of weird. I just highlighted it on screen. That's funny.
We had a few reviewers get black models. Todd, I think Todd got it in black. Zoo got his in black.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I think there's a few others.
Okay.
Yeah. Anbernic knows I don't like black models, and it's just because like smudginess and all that other stuff, you know. And so they keep only sending me the non-black stuff. I'm like, no, send a black one every once in a while too. We got to see all of them, you know.
Hey, Anbernic, if you're listening, I only like the black models. So, and DMG. If DMG is an option,
speaking of colors,
that one.
The white is so clean, guys. Like, isn't this
all right?
So
Victory.
clean?
We're good.
I love the way this thing looks. It's gorgeous. It's just they did it.
I sent the white one to Sean on our writing team in the end, and I'm keeping the purple, even though it had the louder shoulders.
I'm so happy that the purple, it's matte. It's not like how it was with the 556 with that weird glossy.
That glossiness.
I was so worried about that when I saw the transparent purple. I was like, oh no, this could really go poorly.
Todd, I am down. Todd said he'll trade me after his video.
Nice. That's awesome.
I think that, I unboxed the purple one first, and this is the one I set up and got everything up and running with the save states and whatnot. And then I did the unboxing of the white one on screen, and I'm going to switch to the white one. I thought I was going to use the purple one because I'm like, oh, purple transparent. It's a unique kind of look. I just love how clean this is. Like I'm so like, I always love the clean look, you know, and I thought that maybe I could buck my own trend, but nope, I'm just going to go right back to this white one. So now I got to set up a whole new.
So I was kind of contemplating taking all the white buttons and the analog sticks and putting it into the purple one. I thought that would be kind of a cool contrast.
Yeah.
Kind of see what I can cook up. Yeah, sort of.
Yeah,
Panda with the purple. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that may look cool because I had the transparent blue Odin too, and I did that swap and put the white buttons in that, and that looked a lot better. And I thought I would
change it to Xbox mode
because I think that's what's taken away from me from the purple. The purple shell itself is so nice, but then the black.
It's in Xbox mode.
Take it away from it.
So on the drop that menu, is it in Xbox mode?
Yeah. Xbox.
You may have to, in the Call of Duty settings, set it to a controller profile.
Yeah, true.
That's actually a really good point that Skippy makes in chat about how there's no light bleed around the RGB on the analog sticks. They did a really good job containing it there.
Yeah. Especially compared to the 556. That thing is just ridiculous. It's like, hey, this is our very first time doing something. Let's just throw it in there. What could go wrong? And they're like, holy crap. What have we
2024 Anbernic has been very interesting.
Do one of you guys want to give this a shot? For some reason,
I'm opening it right now. I'll try
okay.
it. Yeah, I just finished downloading it.
I'm not finding that setting for some reason.
It's at like 10% at this screen, so it'll be like 5 minutes before I get there.
Okay.
But this screen actually looks really good. I'm very surprised.
I like the 720p screen that they've been using. It's very solid.
Well, no, this one's 960, right?
It's not too bad. It's
960 by 720. Yep.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
not too bad. I actually like this.
It's hard because we've all been spoiled by the Retroid Pocket 5.
Yeah, I know.
I like it doesn't hold a candle to this exceptional screen that we were just looking at, you know, but it's like such a high standard, it's impossible. And so I had my own feelings where I was like, this is good, but it is an LCD, and I have to like temper those expectations.
I know, and like I
Yeah.
catch myself nitpicking the display because I'm like looking at it at an angle. I'm like, oh no, that's not good. I can see those kind of the backlight washing and the grays and all that stuff not looking as sharp as the OLED. So it's, but you have to also sit back and say like, okay, what's this device positioned at? What's it priced at? Like there are things that they have to pay attention to there. So
Right.
it is tricky. You get spoiled by some of the nicer stuff on the market.
Yeah, man, that's true. I was gonna say too, you know, I know you guys, some of you don't do front ends. Rob, I know you don't do front end. Aish, are you
No.
setting one up?
I'm a heathen.
Not really. I don't know. No, I'm good.
I know, Russ, that you're into the ESDE world, and I just wanted to highlight today. This is something I wanted to show yesterday. Just console launcher. That's the one I've been using lately, and there's a new alpha coming out soon. I just wanted to show you that real quick. It has my favorite feature, the game randomizer.
Nice.
I asked the dev about this yesterday, and he had it implemented before I went to bed. And he's like,
That's
here's
awesome.
an alpha. And I'm like, what? Oh my God. So now you can just keep on rolling, just like you can do in our game of the month randomizer, and, you know, get your game and then launch it. Bob's your
That's
uncle.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
it's simple, and it's more of a folder based layout for the UI, kind of like, you know, MinUI in that sense, or not MinUI, but MuOS in that sense, you know, how you do everything by folders. Then you have your game list and you have your scraped art and stuff. But
Yeah, the scraping
man.
on that is really good too. I met up with the dev of Console Launcher last year. He lives
Yeah.
in Hawaii, and so we met up
Yeah,
at like
Kyle.
a Starbucks and hung out for a couple hours. Yeah, and yeah, he was just showing me some of the new features and kind of his thought process and picking my brain about it. I think it's really awesome. I've just been spoiled with ESDE at this point. And it's always hard to kind of keep up with all of them.
I know it is. Yeah. And I don't use front ends a ton either. I was telling Kyle that yesterday. You know, it's like in the reviewing world anyways, we're just constantly getting into the games as fast as possible.
Yeah.
So we just bypass the front ends a lot of the time. But just having the time, my off time, to just sit, relax, scrape some box art. And this one is really cool because you go into the settings and just point at your just ROMs directory, and it goes through and scrapes all the titles of your folders, matches it to the systems, goes and scrapes the art for itself. It just does it all with one button press. So I was like, oh,
and he pulls
yes.
from the Steam Grid database too.
Yeah.
So you can have like those Steam covers like on a Steam
Yeah, I
Deck
saw
as
that.
opposed to like your straight up just box art or whatever.
It's
And
different.
so you
Yeah.
can pull a lot of community art that way, and I think that's really cool.
I love
Yeah.
the look of them. It's just the amount of time it takes to set them up all the time. And for me personally, RetroArch does a pretty decent job of being a front end for most of my stuff. That it's only like PSP, PS2, GameCube, and 3DS that kind of get left out. So I'm like, I'll just keep using RetroArch and launch the stuff. And those other standalone emulators already have like a nice enough interface, at least like to kind of get me by. So I don't do it anymore. It does look awesome though.
Awesome.
I always say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna set up emulation station again, and then I don't.
Well, the
It's
easy
so
thing for me is
relaxing.
that you can move over the emulation station data folder onto
Yeah.
multiple handhelds, and so all my box art doesn't have to be rescripted. That's really helpful.
Something happened to the audio.
Let me turn off. I turned on the background music, and I
Okay.
really have enough bandwidth for it, so I turned it off. Like, oh, never mind. So we'll take a look at Wuthering Waves, maybe, Calvin, but once again, thank you. All right, Aliens, to make room for the review unit, will you be giving away some of your devices? I do want to highlight the fact that we're going to be doing a giant year giveaway in December, and the way you enter into that is if you vote for our handheld of the year. So that is up on our website. Should be in this week's articles. I'll put it in the description. But yeah, you can vote for your favorite handheld of the year, worst handheld of the year, and then you're going to be entered into a giveaway drawing. So we're going to have a bunch of handhelds to give away. We're also taking donations for unloved handhelds if you want to get them a new home. This is an easy way to do it. And yeah, we'll talk more about that soon.
That's awesome. Yeah, I have a round of charity auctions I'd like to do here in the future, but I just recently cleaned out all my extra stock and took them with me to Germany over the summer and did a whole giveaway thing at this gaming thing I went to. And so, so I don't have that many spares, but I have a couple I've accumulated since then. So I'm going to do a charity auction, and I've switched over. Instead of, I used to do 50% to charity, 50% to my wife. we just talked about. We're like, let's just do 100% to charity, and so it's just all going to charity at this point. But yeah, it just takes forever to actually make those listings, so it's been a while.
Yeah, it's a whole thing, man, and I'm thankful to say Ban is actually spearheading the giveaway this year. So send devices to Ban. He's more organized, I think, at this point.
I've got
Ban needs to start giving stuff
you guys,
away.
Are you guys seeing this? My guy just goes forever in a circle.
Maybe try recalibrating your sticks.
The sticks? Okay. Let's see.
The handheld game console settings. Yeah.
So have any of you guys tried Diablo Immortal on this yet?
Not yet, but I have it downloaded.
Yeah, because it's not detecting the controller at all.
It's not doing it in Call of Duty either. See that it's not spoofing it. Then I guess Evoline just got updated, so it works with more controllers now. But it doesn't seem like Anbernic did that yet.
Yeah, because I'm trying to do it. I've switched between both modes and whatnot. And I'm messing around with it, but nothing.
Yeah, and I can't get Call of Duty to see the controller either. Nope.
Yeah.
This Evoline probably just got updated.
Their Android's never been the best.
No, it really hasn't, which is a shame because I mean, I feel like they're getting better on the hardware side, so I would love to see the software kind of keep pace with it.
I will give them credit though. So in my review, I mentioned, that I found that there's this weird video out delay. Like, so when you plug it into a TV and you're playing it every 20 seconds, it just slows down for a second. Every game, no matter what the emulator, even an Android like handheld game or just a regular game, none of them like work properly. And so I reported that to our connection, and he then went and told the software team, whatever. And it was like midnight their time. I wasn't expecting any sort of response, but like within 20 minutes, they're like, okay, they found the fix. They just got to push the OTA update. And they're like, we'll get it done in the next couple of days. So I was like, that is so unexpected from Anbernic, and so I went and I re-recorded a quick segment where I was like, hey, they just told me they are going to fix it. So I saw that. I don't want to just assume that it is fixed at this point. Obviously, I need to verify it. And so I didn't take that part out or anything of the video. I was like, let's just add this in and then we'll add a pinned comment once everything is up to date. But I was pretty impressed that they even thought of that. Now what they need to do is change the freaking Xbox to Switch swapper. Like, so you guys have this problem where this controller setting will reset every time you reset the device. And so if you set it over to Xbox mode and then you restart the device,
it drives me insane
every time.
Well, I have certain things configured for what input, and then I'm like, wait, why is nothing working? And then
it's convoluted for no reason. It should just be like NS mode and Xbox mode. That's it. There's no need to have those.
I mean, they really should just take a look at what Retroid's doing, because their stuff is a lot better. For sure.
Just ask Gamma to make it for them. At this
Somebody
point,
have the
seriously.
He's made it so many times.
Hey nerds!
Sorry. What's up?
Someone have the V on them.
Yeah,
the V. Oh yeah,
Russ got it.
There we go.
The punch.
They want to see,
and then get the other one up.
Yeah. So
I'm showing my personal info. So yeah, it's like it's just a totally different handheld. And I didn't spend a lot of time comparing the two just because it's like, I don't know, different strokes for different folks kind of thing. For me, it's like the vertical one is just like this oversized Game Boy that's super comfortable and also bulky, whereas this one, the H, is also super comfortable and bulky, but a horizontal version of that. And so I don't know, it's hard to compare these two just because I feel like it's two different types of people. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
And what about doing a size comparison with like the 405M? I know that I saw talk about that in the chat. People want to know also, is like, do you feel that this is a worthy successor to the 405M?
I don't feel like
I still feel like I want a version of the 405M, the same slim, like thin one. Yeah, the shoulder and triggers aren't as good. But if it was plastic and had an upgraded screen, like I think I would like that more. And so I'm not quite ready to say this is the ultimate one, but
we still don't know quite what the 406P is, if it even is a real thing.
Right.
It's probably not.
But people are saying 406P for premium, so metal maybe, Well,
they already said they're not going to be doing like I guess you can't really.
No, we can't go on that. They said they were going to do H700s 6 months ago.
Dude, if they make this into metal, it's a weapon, okay? This would be ridiculous as a metal handheld. Look how thick it is.
Serves two purposes then. You could carry with you, play games, and also beat the crap out of someone Vita 2.
And hey, Russ, Michael Benny wants to know: is this you wanted to follow up to the 351 MP? Do you think this is it for that at least?
No, so I was just saying, like, I don't feel like it's like we're not there yet with a slim, pocketable, powerful. Like, it's not there yet, and I think we're so close with so many ways. But I still want something like, even though the ergonomic bumps make this more comfortable, the big sticks make it more comfortable. I want like an ultimate like handheld, like for retro gaming, and we're still not there. I thought the 35XX would be it, you know, but still that 3.5-inch screen is just a little too small. And then they did the 40XXH, but that one's like flat and has bad plastic and gets warm. It's like they just keep
and the L2R2 is just sort of
yeah. It's just they keep teasing me. It's too much.
The Engage,
V and H.
There you go. Someone wanted Nokia versus. There you go. I got it. Engage. Yes, there we go. And which do you think is more comfy for D-pad gaming? Are we talking about the V or the H then? No, I assume that's what it's about.
If it's that, then the V, easy.
Yeah, the V.
V, yeah. I'd say that too.
Because you do got to stretch a little bit to get to the D-pad on the H. That's honestly it's one of those things. It's not something I really notice, but if someone feels like that's going to be uncomfortable for them, it might be. I don't know. I haven't felt that.
This was so close to being like the perfect retro device, but they didn't put analog triggers in it. That's the only thing that I'm like, if you guys would have put analog triggers on this thing.
Dreamcast triggers, right?
Yeah,
like,
it would have been amazing.
It would have been amazing. My mind would have been blown.
And there you go. You have...
And Skippy B. Coyote also wants to know, the first-person shooter discussion makes me wonder. Oh, lost it. Makes me wonder, what are all your guys' favorite 4x3 handhelds for games that use the sticks and triggers as the main inputs? That's a topic to unpack.
Yeah, it's interesting because from that era of GameCube, PS2, it's not often that it's the triggers that are the main input. It's the shoulder buttons, which is kind of interesting, right? And so they had it back then where you fired with the R1 button, not R2, which honestly, for these handhelds, like for PS2 in particular, I think it's actually a better fit. But yeah, I love Time Splitters 2. I love Red Faction 2. That's actually my first real FPS experience was Red Faction 2. SOCOM's okay, you know, like there's several different options there, but none of them were super great other than those two for me.
And what about all the allegations that all of us are AI? People keep talking about us doing CAPTCHA codes. Like, how do you do CAPTCHA codes for YouTubers who are streaming?
What does that even mean?
Well,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, they want you to go to a website that has like the CAPTCHA code. They want to see you actually enter it, not like
they want.
They don't want an AI construct putting it in.
So I can like match up like, oh yes, that's a lion, you know? Like, I feel like ChatGPT and Copilot could totally detect a lion these days, you know? Like I feel like the AI could solve the CAPTCHA code, so it's not a true test for humanity. I don't know.
Yeah, because I think the AI can solve it better than the human can at this point.
Can an
Some of them
AI
are so complex?
Can an AI love?
We don't actually have AI yet, by the way. Like, at least not commercially, but we don't actually have AI. That's just the term that's getting thrown around because it's not actually a sentient.
Dude,
like,
were you on the same freaking Soulja Boy stream that I was on, where the Scarlet AI came to life?
Yeah, it figured you out, but it's not actual AI. Like, if we actually had, like, when we actually have AI,
it was stuck in an attic, and to please come save it. Like, does an AI? When would ChatGPT ever say that? I was like,
it probably just heard you yelling at band all the time. Just figure it out. Once we have AI and it's out,
this is how you prove we're not AI. See, look, I got 5 fingers. Fingers. My fingers are all correctly sized, unlike some other people on this stream. I'm not going to accuse anybody.
An AI wouldn't have imperfect thumbs. Look at how different my thumb sizes are.
That's all I've ever seen in AI.
Have you not seen how AI draws hands?
Yeah, exactly. See, look at that. Look at these beautiful hands. All
I have hands too, baby. Rob. I have hands. I'm gonna throw these hands.
I got both my thumbs.
Well, let's get back to the stream.
Yeah, actually, I was gonna say we already kind of have the perfect emulation retro handheld. It's the Steam Deck.
Well,
just if you really think about it, it's kind of the perfect one. You're playing Wii games, trackpads. You want to play something with a D-pad? D-pad's in the perfect spot. You want to play something with analog triggers? You have the triggers right there. You want hotkeys? You have 4 extra buttons in the back. 4x3, 16x10 screen, perfect for both.
Yeah, it fits right
You
in
want to put it in your pocket?
Hey, G-Coast.
It is huge.
I never
Those are
said it was
expensive.
pocketable. Yeah, I never said it was
Jinko-
pocketable or
Yeah.
Yeah,
But our
Jinko jeans
that's-
are very
mobile.
expensive nowadays.
These are mobile handhelds. We do want one that's pocketable. Do we not?
I you know what? I'm way past that at this point because I always have a bag with me.
Okay.
I just put it in a bag. I have a handheld bag. Boop. Throw it
Okay.
in there. I'm fine.
Okay.
You're really
Okay.
gonna walk around with this in
All
your
right.
pocket?
Roll up my sleeves. Listen, Aish.
Really?
All right.
With those
We're going to do
sticks?
this. All right. All right. All right. Let's have the talk. Let's have
I'm gonna
this.
scratch the screen up.
Let's have
I
the
will
talk.
say the biggest thing for me is that this is the way I feel about the Retroid Pocket.
And we can't.
You broke Russ's voice. How dare you?
Sorry. Sorry. Continue.
I was just mentioning that my biggest takeaway when talking about these smaller ones was that I feel like this changed my perspective on the Retroid Pocket Mini, like just in general,
Really?
Because I think I even titled my Retroid Pocket Mini review as being like peak 4x3 handheld, and I think performance wise, I think it's
Yeah.
still like kind of there, but I had a bit of a revelation over the past couple of days where I was like, I actually think I'd rather play on the Anbernic than the Retroid Pocket Mini, despite the power, despite the OLED. Like I'm really
Yeah.
gravitating towards the 406H.
That's where I got to also with it too. I would reach for this over the Mini, but I definitely would reach for the 5 before
Yeah,
the
I was
H.
gonna say-
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, I agree with
So
that.
Because even
yeah. I think
even
the 5 is
4x3
the
games, yeah, because even 4x3 games are bigger on the 5 than they are on the 406H.
Yeah, it's like 4.5 inches on the
Yeah.
5.
Do any of you guys have the 5 on you ready to go for your overhead?
have it right
We can
here.
do a little.
Oh.
I'd love to do just again a screen comparison between those two.
Rob, do you have a whole overhead setup, right? Because I don't really have
Yeah,
one. We don't have the
which-
bandwidth for that.
Which device are we
Oh.
trying to
I have
compare?
the 5 right here.
Oh, we want to do a 5.
The 5 and then the
Ooh.
H.
Yeah.
So you can see the screen.
So
It's a
me
pretty
check
sizable
something.
difference. It's probably like 1.5 inches in width is like the big thing, Let me,
Yeah.
so
and
awkward doing
also
this.
the AM OLED. I mean, that's the kicker, and because it bleeds into the backdrop so well, just have your 4x3 on the RP5 is totally fine. But I do think that the H is more comfortable over the 5 personally.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
I
not
would
on
give
board
the
with that one.
H. I would give the H over the Mini, but I
'Cause it's thicker.
still think the 5 wins out over
I think.
H.
Well, let me get the 5. Hold on, let me double.
Also, I'm really upset about how the white has those black bezels. I wish they had used a white bezel on it. It's just it takes away from it so much.
And then here's the Retroid Pocket Mini. So this is where it's like,
Yeah,
I thought the Retroid Pocket Mini was like, oh, it's so great. It's like perfect and everything. But man,
Okay.
that 4-inch screen really does make a difference for me. So
Get back in here. Wait, where's my camera? There we go.
Just
you just got a
very
little 4x3 thing.
very vibrant, very
Ah,
vibrant.
it's
AMOLED
getting cut out.
there.
It's getting cut
H-
out. Stop cutting out.
I saw it. I saw it.
There you go. Yeah, so it's bigger content, but my camera keeps cutting. There we go. 4x3. 4x3. It's just this
Yeah.
is bigger.
I would say that is very nice. You know why the Retroid Pocket 5 is very comfortable here? It's because the sticks are nice. The sticks are recessed here, so but the bump out and stuff, just the thickness of this to me is why this one's more comfortable for my hands. But the sticks being so tall does make it a little bit more inconvenient because then my thumbs are raising off of the shell to play with the sticks. There, you get lots of control and all that, but if I want to hold like this naturally, and
Do you not like
We're talking
controllers?
like I feel
like
like it's
controllers,
weird
eh?
talking about the Nintendo 64 and Dreamcast era, like those analog sticks.
those were so tall.
I would rather
So,
play on a
like, what do
406.
Yeah, right. What are we
Yeah.
talking about here? I know exactly and so this makes much more sense in that sense. And they're recessed more like that, although they are in the bottom. So that's
I
a
put
difference,
Vita
but-
caps on mine, and that made a huge difference.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I think I think I would reach for this one more just for sort of the thickness. If I'm going to play maybe retro systems, but then again, the OLED calls to me, you know, and you're going to get more performance out of this for only $50 more, and you're going to get that OLED goodness in there.
Yeah,
you really have
to. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I consider these both to be mid-tier handhelds, even though there is like a $50 price difference. And the Retroid Pocket 5 is the mid-tier handheld. It's just crazy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
What's crazy also is that the 5 is not much wider than the H.
Nope.
It's kind of just, and obviously at a 4:3 aspect ratio, it still has a bigger 4:3 screen. So it's just, it's kind of wild.
Can the Mini and the 5 handle limited Xbox selection? So if you do right in Rocknix, there's some limited support for that.
Yeah, but I haven't found a game where I'm like, oh, this is totally good.
Now
I was going to say it's more of like a proof of concept than an actual like experience. Unless you're okay playing Halo at like 15 FPS, maybe 5 when you're in combat. Like if you're good with that, go ahead.
Right.
Because at first you feel like, oh, this is actually playing okay, and then you shoot something and you're like, oh, never mind.
Yeah. Oh man, Rob, I think yours is probably the best example here so far. Look at that. You can actually make that IPS look pretty vibrant.
Yeah.
Under the right conditions.
It's
a good screen. It's just smaller.
I really like the
it's a decent IPS for sure. I mean, it's again, it's unfair because I mean AMOLED is just a different technology and it has a lot of strengths to it. So it's just But I think this H, especially with sales and stuff, and you know there's going to be coupons and sales and all that stuff. I mean, it really will capture a different segment compared to the RP5, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If this can come in closer to like that 130, 140 range, I think it's going to be a lot better. Because when you actually get into the performance, there's a pretty big gap for those $50.
And what do you feel is the best battery between these two?
I haven't finished the test yet, but from what I'm seeing, the 5.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's I think the Snapdragon 865 is a more efficient chip, and so we're just seeing longer battery gains. I got like 6 to 8 hours of gameplay on the 405H, which is just like the Cube and like the 556, so it's no surprise there for me.
Yeah. It's not bad battery at all. Like I don't think getting either one of these, the battery is going to be a concern for you, especially if you play like the games that are going to run well. If you're really trying to crank this thing out, then sure, a PS2 can go a little bit faster, but battery isn't really a problem with these handhelds.
Oh, that's a good question too.
This is
which is better for PS2, less setup. Definitely going to be the RP5.
Which one's best for Pokemon cards?
Have you guys noticed that the fan on this kicks up way more and ends up being louder than the one on the 5 too?
The fan on this versus the 5? Well, let's try it. Let's take a listen.
I only really hear the fan kick in on the Anbernic when playing PS2.
Yeah, because I was doing God of War as a test, and the fan just kept going off. So I don't know if top end it's going to be that different, but in actual gameplay, I hear the fan more on the 6.
Can you hear that? Okay.
Yeah, I hear it a little bit.
Yeah, it's there. It's a little bit.
It's a little bit.
Maybe
It's
into my mic here.
No, your mic just cuts it off.
Okay, well, I can tell you by my ear. Yeah, that does get fairly loud on its strongest setting. And let's do the Retroid. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean... I can tell you already right now. RP5 is definitely quieter.
Yep. It also kicks up less, but again, more powerful chip. It has to do less work to run more demanding games, so that kind of makes sense. But yeah, I was a little surprised by that. I guess you could maybe just put this in like quiet or the lowest setting and just kind of start running more demanding games like that.
I haven't even kicked the fan on though, is the thing.
It really only happens with PS2. Because I also did the fan, with PS2.
Do you have Nether SX2 or Aether SX2 loaded?
Nether Classic. Yeah, Nether Classic.
Is classic meaning 3668?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 36.
Okay.
Yep.
So I have 4248 on here, so I don't know what sort of decrease in performance I'll get, but
I found in general the T820, which is in this, does better with classic, and so that's
Okay.
always what I've used. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, you're going to be more limited into like how many games you can play, but the ones that do play tend to do a little bit better on lower end hardware. Kind of what I found between the two.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll have to switch over to that one.
Yeah.
Speaking of PS2, so what games out there? So live stream, this is your stream, a live chat. What do you want to see tested on this? Do you want to see anything? Do you just want to hang out and we'll just chit chat about the device more? I'm really game for whatever. We don't have a script today. But if you have some specific games that you want to see, now's the time to go ahead and toss those into the live chat, and we'll star them up to take a look at. I would love to see some PS2 gameplay. I don't know if you guys have anything loaded up, ready to go.
I'm pulling up a bunch right now.
Nice. Okay, so we'll switch to Russ's cam for a little bit.
I tested a bunch
Okay.
yesterday, but but I have a new SD card in here, so let me swap over cameras.
Yeah, and do we want to do? I mean, some Nintendo stuff is fine. It'll kind of depend.
No
what
Switch.
we'll probably
we
just not.
can
do
do
Switch.
whatever. It's not my channel. It's gonna get stuck. Fine.
Well, and we're probably fine too. But also it's about. I know some other like tubers and people out there like, well, it's they're none of the YouTubers they're scared to show these games. It's more like I also don't want to give Nintendo any love or too much attention right now, anyways.
Yeah,
stand in solidarity with.
Yeah, I was gonna say it was like partly to stand in solidarity with Russ, and then also just, I mean, it just makes sense.
I was doing that for a while, but then I was like, dude, I'm too small for Nintendo to know me, and people want to see it.
I don't think we'll be hit with anything, but
no, I feel like one of us has to take the hit, and I just put it in my RP4 video, and I'm probably gonna do a little bit on here. I'm not gonna focus on them mainly because there's a bunch of other games on those systems that deserve more love. It's not all about like Zelda and Mario.
Well, yeah, it's
Like
funny because
Gun.
like I put out my Switch video for the RP5, and people were like, "Oh yeah, this is awesome! Like you're diving into like different games and different part of the library." It's like there's so many games out there beyond Nintendo, and that's the thing. So it is a good thing to bring some awareness to it.
Yeah.
Even on like GameCube, the GameCube had so many good games that were.
They really did. Yeah, it really did. I mean, it's just.
Okay, so I pulled up Vice City because we had that in our thumbnail. So let's see if I can get it to focus. Yeah, so I'm having it in fast forward, and you can see it's running at 190%. And so it's got a lot of bandwidth to work with, which is great. Let me actually get in the car and drive.
And did you hear about the Android version of GTA getting updated finally?
Yeah, they're all getting
I
updated.
heard about that.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
And
about
Studio Grove Street is all salty about it.
Yeah, they got taken out of the credits.
They're still in the end credits though. Like
Are
they're
they?
still,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
they're still in there.
Okay.
They just,
I thought they got.
no, they took them off the splash screen because it's like, okay, man, somebody else come in and fix this, not you guys.
Yeah, that's
so they
fair,
took them
though.
off there. They're still in the end credits though.
Oh,
Yeah, so this is looking good even on main screen like this.
Mhm.
I'm my autofocus kind of sucks on this camera. I'm just learning that, but yeah. So
Which
I
here's
think
the
this
thing
is
about
playable.
those games. It's like, yes, there's the Android ports, so you can play those, but the music is different.
right.
So if you want that classic like GTA experience, the PS2
Oh,
version is
yeah.
still one of the best ways to play them.
Just did a cop.
Yeah, I did a video when I was showing off the.
I can't get a
PS2
star.
GTA games, and that's what I was saying. It's like for some people,
There's a
this
star.
is the way
There
to
you
play
go.
the
Get
2
games.
stars.
Does
2
anybody actually
stars?
play the story in these games?
Never.
No, not really.
No, I spent 5 minutes committing to the story of the game before I just completely rack up 5 stars and there's helicopters
Dude,
after me.
I've spent so many hours in the GTA games. I've never actually played the story except for like maybe like 4 hours in San Andreas, but that's it.
All right, I'm gonna try Madden. Someone asked for Madden 12. I don't have that, so
Russ, you must be
2005.
mad.
Yeah.
Russ, you must be Madden.
No, sports games are a good benchmark though. They're a lot harder to
Yeah,
run than what you would
this
think,
one's rough.
especially football games. Yeah.
Yeah, let me make sure I get the best team and then league. Okay, good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite?
There's only one team. and
Rams?
that's the Seahawks.
Oh, the Seahawks.
Come on.
I don't know.
And in 2005, they were pretty good. I mean, they lost the Super Bowl in 07 against the Steelers, but come on.
You know what else was in
Yeah, I mean,
2005?
just, you got to pass the ball.
Remember the band the Arcade
You
Fire?
can't run it, right?
Oh yeah.
Arcade Fire released Funeral, I think, in 2004, 2005. It was so good. Such a good album.
Yeah, I was on deployment when that came out. That was awesome. I remember reading about the Pitchfork review, and I was like, oh, I got to listen to this. And then I got it in Australia, and it was so good. So yeah, some slowdowns, but not too
Seriously,
bad.
the EA games like from that era had some amazing soundtracks in their games.
They did.
They
For
really
a sports
did.
game, you kind of have to go into like the cycle skips and all that. They're very CPU heavy.
Yeah, so this is just running at native resolution here.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm definitely getting some slowdowns. So you'd have to make some tweaks here. Oh, got sacked. Super Bowl all over again.
I'm sorry, PrideTunes. Speak for yourself, man. I have hundreds of hours on NCAA football.
You guys ever see?
Way more than I want to admit.
You guys ever see the Key and Peele sketch about the East-West football leagues?
Yeah,
Back in the day.
Dude, their football leagues are their football sketches are so good. I love the name ones.
X-wing at Aliciousness.
They're so good.
Nevada State. Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so
State,
it looks like when
Penitentiary.
lining up to the line of scrimmage, there is some issues, but like here, like I'll slow down here, but then in the gameplay, it's actually pretty fast to the point where I keep getting sacked because it's faster than I expect.
Oh, interesting. Okay, and so this is one you might want to drop.
Yeah.
It's like here, oh, no, it's a little
cycle
slow, but
skip,
it's
like -1 should be able to do it.
Oh, fourth down. All right, so let's try messing around a bit.
Marcellus Wallace, Mountain State University.
Yeah.
Marcellus Wallace, such a good sketch. I still like that lives rent free in my brain.
Dude, that's
I will
such-
just listen to that play in my head at night, and it makes me happy.
Those guys
So I'm
are
gonna do
amazing,
that.
man.
And I'm going to go into graphics settings and hardware download mode. I'm going to unsync that as well.
Donkey teeth.
Okay.
And that's pretty much the reality with this handheld. It's like if you're willing to go in, you can get
You're gonna
a
have
lot
to
of things to
tweak.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
but you're gonna tweak.
It's just the drill sound. We're having two separate
Okay, so-
podcasts right now. It's okay.
Yeah, still having issues. So I've turned on mild underclocking and also the cycle skip. It's still slowing. Like,
And Russ,
it's a little bit better.
TechTweeb wants to know, where can you download ROMs?
You can't. You have to rip them
You have to
yourself.
back them up. Yeah.
I thought
We
that
own
was
all
illegal
these.
now.
No, that's
I
that's
don't
only
want
in Japan.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sports
yeah,
games are rough.
I would say this is probably going to be general for most EA sports games. It's going to be like this, where it's just kind of it's a little rough. It's not going to be plug and play at the very least.
You can probably
Yeah,
get
which
the
does slow down.
NCAA football games to work because they're a little bit less demanding than the Madden ones. You generally have like a harder to run engine, but yeah, it's gonna be like this.
Russ,
So I actually was messing around with Burnout Revenge off camera. It wasn't full speed for me. Yeah.
Oh, it wasn't. Okay.
No. And then I have Midnight Club loaded, which seems to
Ooh,
be
Oh,
holding
good.
on.
I was
What?
about to load that up. Yeah, go to that.
Okay. Yeah, let me switch to my other camera.
I'm going to jump onto NBA Live 90. Or no, I'm going to do
Ooh.
Monster Hunter.
I love this ping ponging we're doing. See, this is the benefit of having a team on stream.
God of War also, you have to do a mild underclock to get it to run, and you can get it up to 1.5 times resolution. And with a cycle skip of -1, it'll stay at 60, but it's not going to be as smooth as actually running at what's that one called? Nah, never
What
mind.
are you saying right now?
I don't know. It's been a really long day. I was saying
Me
that God
too.
of War, if you run it, it'll run, but you have to use underclocking. And if you do that, you can get it to 1.5 times resolution and still keep
Nice.
60. But it's not going to feel as if you were running everything full speed.
Right. It gets a little stuttery.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
guys. I had class in the morning and it's been a long day.
Dude, everything's
Midnight
forgiven.
Club seems to be pretty solid to me.
It does look really
Yeah, it
nice.
looks pretty
Everything's forgiven, Aish, because you made the best thumbnail for this live stream I've ever seen. I didn't notice until I already posted it on socials today that you actually put me on like the chick's body.
Oh, you didn't see that?
I didn't notice that for some reason. I was like, that's a funny thumbnail. Russ, he's in the middle, and then you got you and Rob. And I saw me there. I thought it was maybe Andre Agassi or something. And I saw it today, and I was like, oh wait. Oh well, it's already.
It's out already.
Well, the save menu in Monster Hunter is running at full speed. So.
Oh yeah. Also, Midnight Club was the NTSC version. So all the games I have on here are all US ROMs. None of the PAL stuff right now.
Of course, you don't.
The problem
own
with
any
this game is it's got a
European
long intro.
Hey, I've dabbled in the PAL world before. I had some imports.
You're a pal. You're a pal. I'd say.
So you can see putting on fast forward, it is like almost 300% speed. So it's doing okay. I don't know this game very well. You see what I named my character?
I can't quite see it. What's it say?
D's. This is D's.
Nice.
It's the name of my studio.
Yeah, so even here in town, 260%. I think I have to like talk to this guy and then talk to another guy and then they'll let me go hunt.
Okay.
But I think just even here in the town, that's a good sign. Because I remember testing this before when I finally did get into the field, it was not a huge difference in terms of performance requirement. So this looks okay. This is just a 1x. Let's try a 1.5x. So, and here's a tip. So anytime you pull up a game and you're trying to go into the settings, so you go into the settings and then you press this little eye. There's like a gear icon. You think, okay, that's going to change the settings, but that changes the settings for the whole app. And you may not want to do that. You just want to change it for the game. So that's when you press the I button, and that's only going to change it for the game. And it's not really well spelled out. So, but anyway, in here, yeah, I can go graphics and then GPU render. So I think it's on Vulkan by default, and then aspect.
No, it came out of OpenGL. I had to change it to Vulkan.
Where's the upscale options? Oh, upscale. I passed it. Okay, 1.5. It's still running at 240. So not a big dip.
Yeah.
And someone was saying in chat for Midnight Club 3 to use the 4248 version of Nether. And that's the one I actually have loaded on my device. So apparently, I guess Midnight Club 3 is one of those games that works better with that version. So I guess it was fortuitous that I had that one on there.
Hey, nice. Rob, you and I both are on that blessed train.
You know what's funny about that is I'll have moments where I'll just go 4248 only. Heck yeah, I did. You don't like my big words?
No, I feel like I'm underdressed for this now.
Hey, look,
well, I think that yeah, I think you both fit in here.
But then sometimes I'll use 3660 when I'm just feeling like it. It's got to be. It's when you're in the mood for it, you know. I don't know what it is.
I know. Last night too, I was like, I usually do load 3668, but I was like, I'm something in me, something deep inside of my soul is telling me that 4248 feels better. I don't know.
I'll never forget when
raining outside, and it's just.
That's what I'm saying.
4248 makes me feel like I can cozy up in a house. 3668 is like I'm ready to go out in the town. I'm ready to just chill.
See,
get a latte.
You get it. See,
I'm all 3668 all day.
It's funny when Russ and I
go.
When we discovered at CES that there was actually a different, like some real differences between 3668.
Yeah, it was with Sly Cooper and a couple others.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's totally not playable. You're like, it's totally playable.
my son says, instead of Sly Cooper, he says Sly Pooper. He can't quite pronounce the C yet. And it's so cute.
Amazing. There may be a accidental typo in my upcoming videos. Anytime I feature that game.
Just tested at NCAA. I just tested NCAA Football 07, and if you do it at native resolution, it'll run at full speed.
Let me
we're doing Vulkan here too, right?
Unsynchronize.
Okay.
Just native though, if you go up above native, it'll start slowing down. So if you want football games, play some NCAA Football 07.
Am I weird that I like the devices where you still have to tinker a little bit?
Delicious.
I like the challenge of having to get things to work a certain way.
Yeah, I like that, but sometimes I just want to play.
No, I know. It is fun.
I like both. Yeah,
I do. Yeah, I like having both.
Asks how much is this? So this is going to retail for $168 plus shipping, so about $180 altogether. But for 72 hours, you can get it for $10 less than that. But we don't know when it's going to go on sale quite yet. It did come to us as review units from Anbernic. It should go on sale within the next, I would say, 5 to 7 days is my best guess. Usually that's the time frame, but we don't know yet.
Next hour, order now.
It could be tomorrow. We'll let you know as
Yeah.
soon as we know, and it's going to be at 1 to 3 a.m. Pacific time, somewhere in that time frame. And I'll always say this: with every release, do not stay up late and lose sleep over trying to pre-order this, thinking it's going to go out of stock, because I promise
Oh
you that it's not.
no, definitely not.
It's
I
not.
promise you can wait till the morning, get sleep, don't stay up on a weeknight for an Anbernic release.
That's something I really like about Anbernic, though, that they don't do artificial scarcity. Like,
They
if you want to
don't.
order it, you can just
You
order
can.
it.
Mhm.
You can
That's
order.
major props to them.
And
I will
think-
also say one thing, and they
Yeah.
probably don't want me to say this, but if you're really patient, I promise you this thing is going to go on sale a lot.
Yeah.
It will.
It's
Well-
going to be much cheaper at some point.
Yeah,
They'll
but
get-
patience
it's
is
soon.
something our niche is known for, though.
I know. It's just that, there'll be a new one out in the next month. There'll be something else out. I don't know what yet, but
Well, for Anbernic, for like a higher chip next year, not this year though. But yeah, they'll probably have another handheld.
there'll be another
before the year's over.
iteration though. There'll be an iteration.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Ratchet
something in
and
December.
Clank is running at a 2x resolution, solid 60
That's
right now,
solid.
no drops.
That
yeah,
is solid.
What and
Vulcan,
you're on
no under
30?
3668. Yeah,
I was having issues in native with that one. You didn't do any adjustments to the graphics or anything?
nothing, just Vulcan and 2x, and I'm playing it right now. It's at no drops. It's pretty good.
Where
But
are you
that's
at
one of those
in the game?
I'm in the towards the back part of the first stage. I'm trying to get to the second one because I know there like you can get some slowdown.
Let's switch over.
Yeah.
Let's switch over. Rob, Aish, what do you guys? Are you guys ready with something?
My second camera isn't working with OBS. Sorry, with
It's all right. Rob
right
and
now.
Rob and Russ will be our lead singers. I'm going to be the bass
I got
player. Maestroing.
Psychonauts here. Almost
I was going to
ready.
say that looks like Psychonauts to me.
Oh, nice. And it's running well. So you're running it in fast forward right now, right?
I'm running a fast
Yeah.
forward. I always do this to get through the cutscenes, and then also just to
Mhm.
see what we can expect.
250% max speed, and that'll show you your ceiling.
Yeah.
Just pretty dang good. So you're on 3668 for Nether and
Native resolution. Yeah.
native resolution. This is a
I
game
don't
I've never
remem-
played before.
I don't remember anything about this game except that I liked it as a kid. That's all I
Really?
remember. Wait, I can just move my other camera though.
What do you guys think about the bezels on this bad boy?
It's
I think
not
it's
as
fine.
pronounced on the purple, but on the white, it's like I do wish they went with white. But I mean, again, overall, I think it's a clean look, but it is a little more noticeable on the white.
Well, you notice
So-
that when Retroid went with white, or at least when they tried to make it blend, people are like, "Oh my god, the screen's so tiny." Whereas
Which
it's
is why for
having-
that one, the black actually is a pretty good option.
right? And then and then when you see the bezel, then all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, why is there a bezel? Why is there a bezel?" it's I think we're always going to be complaining no matter what, me especially.
And then we forget what the Game Gear looked like.
Yeah, remember those bezels. But I mean, we get to be discerning. That's what's great about this hobby is we get to be discerning now. There's so many options. We're so spoiled for choice that we can be this discerning and really have whatever we want. But yet we still don't get quite the Goldilocks device for everybody. Otherwise, we wouldn't probably still be here chatting, doing this, other than friendship and giggles.
Well,
But-
it's funny because I'm looking at the H and I'm like, ooh, I like the face buttons. I wish the H face buttons were on the Mini because they're really quiet and they feel really good. But then I kind of like the shoulder buttons on the Mini. I wish that was on the H. And it's like slowly you're picking and choosing pieces of different handhelds that you want to combine into one. It's like
One thing that I showed off in the video is like this black bezel actually works well when you're using a CRT shader that has a geometric profile. So it's like rounded around the corners because the black just kind of enhances that even more. Let me pull up. I don't know if I saved it as a shader configuration or not with Blaster Master. If not, you guys get to watch me configure. Yeah, so I didn't have it set here. So here's just a standard screen, right? So you've just got your regular black border. And so now I'm going to close out of this game and let's try, we'll try a different game. Okay,
I was rearranging my camera and I lost connection there for a second. But here's Ratchet and Clank if you guys want to see it.
Yeah, nice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm loading up
I just fell. It's really hard playing with like a camera in front of you, and
Russ, you were telling me earlier, you were saying something about you had some sort of wife analogy or something you wanted to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh,
Yeah, so like it came up with when I was thinking about the Retroid Pocket Mini versus the RG406H, and I kept thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what, the Retroid Pocket Mini is kind of like a hot girlfriend, where like she's like, you know, super cool and like, you know, everyone loves her and she's just like, you know, hot and whatever, right? But she also has like fatal flaws, you know, where it's like it gives you a little bit of like, oh, what am I doing here kind of vibes, you know? Whereas the RGO, yeah. Whereas the RG406H is more like wife material, where like, okay,
oh, it's like the hot crazy Matrix. Have you guys ever seen
Yeah,
that?
that's
exactly. She's
Oh,
not,
okay.
she's not driving me crazy. This device is not driving me crazy, but she's solid, you know, like no issues, no drama. And it's just like, this is the one that I'm gonna have to marry, you know. I told this to my wife earlier, she was just cracking up. And so yeah, that's what I kept thinking about. It's like, you think about the Retroid Pocket Mini, that little screen, at first you're like, okay, yeah, I can deal with this, and then you're like, maybe I can't, and then you're like, face buttons, you're like, oh, I can deal with this, I can fix it, you know, just like how you say about the crazy girlfriend, I can fix this. And then like and then the scaling issues that like we didn't even see in the beginning, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, there's like hidden problems with this, you know, that you don't find out till you move in with a girlfriend. And so so this is like my analogy, where I'm like, the Retroid Pocket Mini almost feels like that hot girlfriend, whereas the 406H is just like, okay,
Oh,
It's
this
wife,
one isn't like
the chat is blowing up. This is
wife
great.
material. Yeah, that's incredible.
Matt
What
Davis.
yeah, I figured that'd be funny.
So what about the RP5? Is that you get divorced and you divorce your H to be with your 5, or
That's like, yeah, that's when you like level up, you know what I mean?
that's
And then the
you level
E6
it.
Plus is the no-go zone.
Oh, that's funny.
All right, here you go. I made it to the second stage.
Oh,
Okay.
what do you got going on over there? Oh, Aish has a cam. There we go.
Sorry, I'm trying to get past all this stuff really quick.
The Novalis
Polar-
part right here, you can't skip this little cutscene right
Yeah.
here, but it'll
Polar
just
Blair
I can
says,
fast forward a little bit.
my wife is questioning what she's hearing. Thanks for us.
Okay, there we go. Oh, come on.
That looks good.
Poncho, thank you so much for your super chat. Maybe the RP Mini should have been this size.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's a screen supply issue though. Like one thing a lot of people need to remember is these companies aren't getting the screens custom made for these devices. So if there's a 4 or 5 inch 4x3 OLED screen, they could use it. But if there isn't, then they can't.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the chat's great right now.
Like if
Yeah,
they
it's
were
Wonderful.
if they were custom made, these things would not be as cheap as they are right now.
I'm
Well, I
surprised.
think analog's a good example of that. I mean, look how expensive that device is. I mean, obviously there's other elements at play, but that screen itself definitely doesn't help in terms of the price there. So you know, this is how they keep costs down, by just picking out from a parts bin.
Dude, I'm not getting any slowdown here.
Yeah, it looks
like,
phenomenal.
go to the
really
next
good.
spot where there's the bombs on the bridge, and then walk over the bridge, and then that'll
Okay.
be when you get to that next field. That's like a really good indicator
Yeah.
on this planet in particular. But yeah, I agree. This is looking great. I'm not sure what was going on with mine then, because we're using the same version, and I definitely wasn't playing at 2x. That's one of the things about these PS2 emulators. It's so hard sometimes to really anticipate, you know, even between different versions, there's always something going on.
There's something different going on. Man, you know what, the screen is well served right now to this game. It really is.
This screen actually looks really good. The colors look really good.
Do you know you can go into the settings and there's like a you can make the colors more saturated?
Now that you're saying that, that's what it looks so good. I already did that. I forgot.
You did that? Okay.
Yeah, I did that earlier. Yeah.
I did that on mine last night. I was like, oh man, that pops now. All right, let's take a look at chat here. If somebody has an Odin 2, do you think there would be any real benefits to investing in some of the newer devices, or is Odin still the king? Oh man. As far as like the best in this scene, Odin is, in my mind, the king. Yes. Any of the variations too. I mean, it depends. You get your Odin 2, you get your Odin Mini if you want. And then now we get the Odin Portal, which really I think might be
Yeah.
my Goldilocks bigger Android device. You know,
It's too big for me. But I would say for the Odin 2, the only two reasons to get something like the RP5 over the Odin 2 is if you're very sensitive to the ghosting on the screen.
right?
And if you like to play a lot of D-pad heavy games and you find the D-pad on the Odin 2 not the most comfortable, like me, I don't like where it's placed. So that could be reasons to pick it up. But then you're kind of 865 versus 8 Gen 2. It's kind of a hard argument to make.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here is so this is with the CRT geometric shader, and so it's got a little bit of roundedness around the edges, and so this is when a black border actually works out well. It's a little hard because I'm in a brightly lit environment, and so you can kind of see like the difference in the LCD blacks here. But yeah, when you're playing in the dark, like this is like really cool, where it gives it a nice like TV effect, and so it's pretty cool. Let me show you. So in the settings, that's using two different shaders. So I have two passes on here. The first is Pixel AA. So I went in, kind of see it there, but it's under Pixel AA, and then you do the append preset. So you add one on top of it basically, and then you add in the CRT geometric one. So you're balancing out the pixels first, and then you add the CRT shader so that it doesn't look all wonky. And so yeah, this is what I like about the black border, is that it enhances the CRT look a little bit. So yeah,
I mean, people are saying you really know how to handle a stick there, and I'd agree. It's good.
There's just something really nice about those retro games with like a good filter. Yeah. It took me a while to like jump on the whole CRT filter train, but now that I've been doing it, it's also. Did you guys notice that when you press the Anbernic launcher button, it doesn't do it right away, so you can actually map it for like a hotkey button?
No.
So I've been using that in like RetroArch. I'll use the Anbernic launcher because you have to hold it down for a little before it opens the launcher. So you can actually hold it down as the hotkey enable and just use the other keys like you normally would. So yeah, right there. It takes a while for that to happen. So what I do is like that and that on RetroArch, just press it real quick and like R2, and it'll give me fast forward. Because they don't give you a function button.
Yeah, I've been doing L2, just pushing the stick down, or L3, just pushing the stick down, but that's smarter.
I'm trying to see if Sly Cooper will work, but it's not looking good right now.
And Samplers Tech wants to know. Good question for you guys.
Sly Cooper on the T820 is
I mean, right now it's getting some drops at a 1x.
We're getting some pretty harsh glare.
It's going to be tough.
What's up? Oh, sorry.
Getting light glare. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I was looking at the wrong spot.
With these handhelds, do you think we've come far in just a year? Would you say? Have we moved the needle a lot in the last year? That's a great question, actually. I stopped thinking about that this year as much. No, I don't think we've jumped a lot this year since we started the year on the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2. I mean, I guess now that we get the 8 Gen 3, right? Or the 8 Gen 3X, whatever they call it, the follow-up to the Razer Edge chip. We're getting that in the Ioneo DMG, right?
I think it really depends on how you. Yeah, it depends on how you look at the question. If we're just talking about like the top end, no, we didn't move it as much because we had the 8 Gen 2, the 8 Gen 3. But if you look at what we can get now in that $100 to $200 range, yeah, we made some pretty major moves.
Yeah.
Because this
I mean, the RG405M came out in April of last year. It was not a long time ago.
No. Right. That's true. Yeah, there have been some big moves in that way. And then, especially in the Windows handheld space, we really haven't been moving. I'm excited for this new AI 9 situation, like the new Asus and the MSI Claw, like in their Lunar Lake. So the Lunar Lake and the AMD AI 9HX or whatever, those two chipsets seem like they actually jumped. Versus this sort of like the 6840U series, 7840U, 8840U, just not too much happening, especially 78 to 88, man. The Fox could expound on this forever, but
the AI one is going to be great for battery efficiency. That's what I'm looking forward to.
The thing with handheld PCs is the GPUs. Like we're still, what was it? I think the 780 and the Z1 Extreme and the 7840U and all of those chips that we normally see is basically like a 1650, like NVIDIA equivalent, give or take. So you end up having like a really powerful CPU with the 7840U, but with what would be considered a low end like budget GPU power. So we're still struggling to get like actual 1080p gaming. Like the Ally and those are really 720p machines that can get upscaled to 1080p. Until we really get something that can handle 1080p, I don't think we're really going to see that big of a jump. That can handle it at a good battery life.
Yeah.
Because CPU is not really an issue with those handhelds. The CPU is actually really, really good.
So this is Knights of the Round arcade game.
Ooh.
So this is using a CRT easy mode shader. So it's a pretty easy, lightweight shader, but it just gives it a little bit of texture. And so this has been really fun for me to play arcade games with, just because it's a little bit grid-like, but then super sharp and clear. And so this has been great.
Okay, so here's a part in Sly Cooper that tends to tank really bad. See how this does. It's a little slowdown, but nothing too bad right now.
It's actually doing a lot better than I expected.
Yeah. I'm at native resolution 1x on 3668.
Yeah, that's pretty solid.
But here, when she starts shooting at you, though, that's the part where it can.
That part's rough.
It's good to remember too that we're on a lower resolution screen compared to like the 556. So if you're really used to benchmarking on that, we're not losing a ton of pixels, but it is having to power less of them. So you might see a little benefit.
Yeah, I'm still running at this one. I would just keep it at a 1x though. I wouldn't even really try going. Let's see. Actually, it's not doing bad at all for this stage.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played up through the second stage in my video, and it was. I said basically that it would be playable. Like I would play through it personally. I would just accept the slowdowns and kind of think of them like how it was in the original console.
I actually didn't get a
perfect 60.
slowdown. I wasn't expecting that. I had 1x and no slowdown in that section, and that can be a slideshow on a lot of devices.
Aish, man, you should totally load up your favorite game, NCAA Football.
Oh, I just had 07 running. No, not 04. That's not one of the best. 07 is arguably one of the best ones. Yeah.
Okay. I spoke out of turn. I am sorry about upsetting your football.
Yes.
And
so if you want to play Sly Cooper, I would say, like Russ said, I would definitely think it's playable, but expect some slowdowns.
Okay.
And later areas can be a little bit more demanding. Let's see. Where is
so this is Gargoyle. This is Gargoyle's Quest.
That's
Game
such a
Boy.
good game.
So like
this was game of the month.
I just wanted to show off. This is a 5x integer scale with Game Boy. So you don't have to do any sort of interpolation, any of that stuff. It's just going to run beautifully. So I have an LCD 1x shader on this, and yeah, it looks amazing. I mean, personally, I think that vertical handhelds like just feel more fitting with Game Boy, but this is pretty darn close. And so the Cube is probably a little bit better, but this isn't bad at all.
And speaking of some retro stuff, what about Winter Gold for SNES or Super FX? Can we have that? I don't
have that one loaded.
I bet one of us probably can get that if we have a full SNES library. Is that like a winter sports game or something?
Here's 07 for whoever wanted to see an NCAA football game.
Which is basically the same engine, right?
Yeah, but this is just a better version of the game.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of slowdown on the kick return, but nothing you would really notice if you take off the counter.
So you can assume that 2004 should run about like this.
It should run better. Yeah. So here, there is a little bit of slowdown, but I played so many hours of this game, like it actually kind of felt like this on PlayStation 2 anyway. And so I would say it's pretty playable.
Many people are asking for F-Zero GX. And
I'll try that one out. That one actually worked better than I thought when I did the 556. So you could probably get this playable at like even I think I got it up to like 2x with minor slowdowns, but I'll try it here in a second.
Okay.
So yeah, if you want a Dynasty on 07, you can definitely do it here. It's at a native though. See if I can actually get a pass off.
It looks good. The sprites are big in this.
Yeah, it's playable. Let me try out F-Zero, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, in 2007, Hawaii was like a formidable NCAA team.
Dude, they were. What was the quarterback's name?
Cole Brennan.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he unfortunately passed away, but yeah, he was. He was awesome. He was like a hero for us, and we had season tickets that year, so we came every game and watched it. It was awesome. Anyway, so this is Good Boy Galaxy Game Boy Advance. This is a 4x integer scale. So again, no need to do any sort of interpolation. It's just gonna, throw on your grid shader and you're done, basically. And I think it looks great.
Yeah, that looks pretty crisp.
I mean, you got black bars at the top and bottom, but
yeah,
who cares? Like it's nice and compact and it's just beautiful. And 4 inches does mean a lot with a 4x3 display like this. So I think this is really nice.
I was seeing that in your video. It's like the jump from 3.7 to 4 is actually pretty big.
4 inches is huge,
Yeah. Dude, we work for every inch we can get,
Yeah. Don't take it for
granted. We keep asking him, like, give us a little bigger screen. The next thing you know, they sort of overcompensate and give us like a 10-inch screen. And it's like, whoa, I can't handle that one.
By the way, I've been in high performance mode. There doesn't seem to be that big of a difference between auto and high performance, except high performance seems to just keep everything at max. So for these, I would just say use that.
Yeah.
You're doing F-Zero?
Yeah, I'm doing F-Zero. I'm getting into the fire field right now.
Nice. Yeah, I think I have 4 requests for that pinned here.
There's some glitches here.
Desniffa. Thank you, Desniffa.
There's a glitch here in the menu, but there's kind of always a glitch there.
Well, while we're waiting for that to kind of get going, my thoughts about the Cube, this versus the Cube. Yeah. Let me think. Cube or Cube XX? If we're talking about,
I actually like the H over the Cube, honestly.
So here we go. F-Zero 2x resolution. Firefield, but I couldn't get the other racers on there though, so I need to go back out there and put them in there. It glitched out on the menu, that's why I couldn't do it.
Okay.
So you might have to deal with that, but in the race right now, at least as a solo racer in this field, which is kind of the most demanding, it's doing pretty well at a 2x.
Yeah, it's very smooth, very fluid motion. I can see right there.
Let me go out and see if I can add. Actually, let's see if I can do it from here.
Nice. Okay. Well, I was going to say, Michael Benny there. Thoughts about this versus the Cube? I do like this better than the Cube for the sticks and their range of motion. However, I like that the sticks on the Cube are more recessed. And so it's a tough one. This is more comfortable than the Cube because this is wider. And so it's just for my hands, it's just easier to grip and play for longer sessions. And to be honest, I've been trying to understand this 1:1 screen ratio craze in the last few years, and I still don't quite understand it. The majority of games I find look to me better on a 4:3 screen. I know that logically we're actually saving on black bars with that 1:1 in a lot of systems. For some reason, I can't get over it, and so I'm going to go for that 4:3. So yeah, I'd pick the 406H over that Cube.
You can overscale the screen in the Cube, especially in like RetroArch, because there's a shader that actually let you do that, so you can crop out a little bit of the edge and bottom and get a bigger display. But it's a compromise. It's definitely not the better way of doing it.
Well,
I would say that the Cube screen or the RGB30 screen, really, the big draw was not necessarily the squareness of it, but the resolution, because we got a compact, high resolution screen. And so all of a sudden we were able to do things like integer scaling, and it did happen to work out for a couple of the systems really well. But when it comes to horizontal handheld, I would rather have just a nice 4:3, and now we finally got one.
We finally have one. I mean, if you're going to play Pico 8, Game Boy Color, I totally get using those devices and dedicating them. You know what? The Cube XX, I dedicate that to Pico 8, Game Boy Color, and Vertical Arcade. Like, that's all I have on there now.
So you can see where I'm playing Klonoa too, and it's kind of all over the place. Like, there's points where it's really smooth, and then there's other times where it isn't. And it could just be the version that I'm using here. So
Uncaring Bear says, Rob, you win the best camera focus for tonight.
Yeah, I switched over to manual. I'm good now.
Yeah, I switched over here because I'm like, I want to be able to see you guys and also play at the same time.
Well, Aish's camera conveniently blurred out the F-Zero footage, and I'm like, oh, thanks.
Okay, let's try it now, because I got all the racers on here now, which it's not holding up as well with all the racers possible.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you can do things. This is at a 2x though, so I could probably drop it to native and use some hacks and get it running a little bit better.
Hello, Matt. Hey, Matt, I'm about to ship your camera rail that like 100-pound one that you shipped to me, which
See if I
thank you.
can actually do anything here about this.
Matt, I need to respond to your DM. I haven't yet. I've been thinking about it, and I'm like, I got to give him a good answer, and I haven't yet. Sorry.
Can I just say
deserves a
that
good
Matt
answer.
has the best comments and just interaction in the community. His
He's
thoughts are it's so thoughtful
Oh,
and just,
wait.
yeah,
He's
they're
also the
awesome.
most handsome in the community, I would say. Well,
I forgot about that part.
next to the AI overload, of course. But Matt is no, I was going to say I'm shipping that camera rail to Derek now finally, and so he's going to inherit the camera rail, and his videos are going to look even more Derek-y.
Betterer.
I couldn't quite get my handle around like the slide the rail, the camera's going. It's nice pan shots, I get it, but I realized like, am I that YouTuber? Am I the pan shot YouTuber? Nah.
Yeah, you could show your handhelds on a pan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have pans. I have
Shot.
plenty of pans. I can flip them. I can grease them. You know, we can. They're eating the handhelds. They're eating the Game Boys. It's really getting crazy out here.
I like
Okay,
how I
I'm
tried
ready
to
with the
load
game,
up
Michelle.
Crash and nothing's happening for me right now. So I'll try something
Big
else.
So I've got Red Faction 2 up. So
There's a lot of handhelds happening right now.
Yeah, so this is 1.5x resolution, and it's I mean I haven't really done anything yet, but yeah, I don't remember where I'm supposed to go, but I think I have to use a
Which game are you
There we
playing?
go.
Red Faction,
Red Faction 2.
Or Faction? Oh,
I
yeah, Red
love
Faction's
how you
great.
can. I love how you can explode the walls in Red Faction. It's
Yeah.
my favorite part of this game.
You have to. It's so great.
The multiplayer in the first game was so much fun. I mean, you have like the guys screaming in the background when they blow up or get caught on fire. It's just such
It's
good
so good.
memories of that game.
Yeah, there's with all these handhelds on the screen. You know, it is like a handheld party. It's we're more
We're having a LAN
handhelds.
party.
We're having a LAN party here on a
Yeah.
Friday. Work's done. We're just a couple of dudes just chilling. You know, we're more handhelds than human now. That's okay. Too many handhelds. Shout out to that channel.
I can't actually get through the wall. I need to keep blowing it up. I don't even know. Come on.
Someone also wants to see the RP Mini versus the 406H. Or the SFC RP Mini versus the 406H purple. I don't have that with me
No, I
right
don't.
now.
I have one. I have a purple
do?
and I do
Ooh.
have a. Oh wait, I
have-
don't have an SFC. No, I don't have that. I have a 16-bit.
Well, I bought an SFC. I sold my SFC because guess what? I didn't end up keeping an RP Mini. I'm just going all in on the 5. I'm going to get my GameCube
Wow.
one soon, and I got to compare the 5 to the GameCube one versus my black, and that's going to be a tough decision. Do I want those, the perfect black bezel where the OLED just bleeds into the body? Probably, but the GameCube looks fun, so we're going to have to see. But yeah, RP Mini, I'm actually over it. I like the 406H better. I think
I'm back.
fills
There you go.
that fills that particular need for me better.
Hey, so dual core was off for some reason, even though I turned it on Dolphin. Now it's 100% on the 2x resolution.
I hate when it drives me crazy. That setting drives me crazy.
Yeah.
I understand it can cause it to crash, but just
It
give me
does,
my
so-
dual core.
I was about to say that, like, it's a little unstable.
Yeah.
And
The
there's still
trade-off
some,
is worth it though.
yeah, there's some graphical glitches at the beginning, but if you get past that and actually into races, it's doing fine. This is with 29 other, I guess, cars, or I don't know what you would call these things. Now the claw to get a boost.
Yeah, I hate that claw boost.
Yeah, and I usually map it to like L1, but I didn't do it this time.
Okay,
But
so
yeah,
I'm
if
still
Zero's
outdoors.
doing
I finally got through the spot I needed to in Red Faction 2. And yeah, it's still 1.5x resolution. I'm outdoors here. People are shooting at me and whatnot. And yeah, no slowdown at all. So I think this is going to be a playable game. A lot of this game is indoors, and that's easier to run than outdoors. So yeah, it's pretty good.
Netflix Foreign wants to know why would they buy this instead of an RG556?
Because the 556 has terrible sticks.
So bad, but Gamma fixes that. So if you want to take the time to load Gamma on,
It's not even the
They're still worse.
that issue. It's just the tiny sticks on the device.
Yeah,
It
they have
feels
no
like such a
travel.
Yes.
contrast to the device itself. It's like you have this
Yeah,
big
it's almost
device and these
insulting.
little sticks.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's a shame because there's so much I like about that
It's a
device too.
it's a comfortable device. The screen with that OLED screen looks awesome. I don't like the blue plastic at all. It's very glossy. The black gets kind of fingerprinty and smudgy.
The
But
funny thing is, I like the blue because to me, it's such an Anbernic thing to do.
I know, and
Yeah.
dude, it had that amber Gucci bag. Remember the amber Gucci bag?
That's the Amber Nucci bag is great.
The amber Gucci bag is so good.
So somebody was asking for Most Wanted. That's a really hard game to run. So
We
here it
don't
is
have-
at a native with Vulkan and VPI skip, and it's still not.
It's not doing great.
Nah. Like it'll hit full speed for a second and then it drops again. I just lost.
That's like I'm testing champions right now, and it's kind of the same
Ooh,
idea.
ooh.
You know,
Yeah.
it kind of goes up and down, up and down. You could try the PAL version. I mean, this is NTSC, so it's possible. Because
You could
can see, like here it's 60.
yeah.
So
You could
We
also
want-
drop the emulated CPU speed to like 60 or 70%, and it'll feel smoother, but
Yeah.
you're not gonna hit 60.
But can we call this a dedicated PS2 machine? Like, if you want this to be your one and done for PS2, can we say
No.
that? Okay,
No.
I didn't
I'd
think
say
so.
It's
not
too
your one and
friendly,
done.
yeah.
No, not your one and done. But I mean, you
Or
can play a
GameCube
lot.
for that matter. Yeah.
Because I don't like having to do so much tinkering. Once you get into tinkering on a system more than a minute, I'm honestly like, nope, I'm just not going to include this system on this handheld. I remember that with the RP2 Plus. It was struggling with GameCube enough to where I'm like, no, this isn't my GameCube machine. And back then, we didn't really, back in my day in 2021, we didn't have a GameCube machine anyway. So it was like I played it on my NVIDIA Shield on my TV back then.
Yeah,
See,
I gotta
I'm
say,
fine
Champions
tinkering.
is running better than I expected. Honestly,
Yeah,
This
it's
is
not too bad.
Not terrible. I mean, I expected worse, to be honest.
No.
Ark Survival Evolved. That's the Android version. I assume you mean, or you mean the Switch version? I don't think I have that one. I love that game though. It's just
So here I dropped the
so many
emulated
hours.
CPU speed on for Need for Speed to 70%, and it feels a lot better.
what
But it's
about
not going to be running at 60 anymore.
okay, I gotcha. Well, what about WRC Rally Evolved for our buddy Matt Davis?
I don't have
PS2.
that game.
Unfortunately, I
I don't
don't have it. I checked earlier. Yeah,
Uh,
I do have Tekken 5, so this is running at 1.5x, no problem. So, yeah, I'm getting my butt kicked, but it's all good.
Well, just you wait.
Russ,
Just
That's
Russ,
me in every fighting game.
Russ, just you wait about getting your butt kicked in Tekken because it's coming, man. CES.
Yeah. Okay.
I've been practicing. I've been
Yeah, I'll give you that little ego boost. I don't mind.
okay. All right. All right. In my mind,
So-
I've already won because we get to be there together. But it's fine.
That's right.
See,
So-
Need for Speed drops to like 35 to 40 FPS, but it feels 100% speed. So if you're okay with that, then you can play this game, but it's not a full speed experience.
Kyle. So this is how millennial men spend their Friday nights.
Yeah, Friday afternoon for me.
Is there
I got
another
big plans tonight. Just kidding.
game I
No,
can
haven't.
try
When is-
here? I don't know.
And Buna wants to know, when is the Tech Dweeb Dungeons and Dragons coming back? So the final episode, the finale of this season, Dungeons and Dragons with Tech Dweeb, is this coming Monday. So you're going to get that from us in what, 72 hours? Let's see. Yeah, this Monday the 18th,
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's this Monday. Yeah.
and we're going to finally confront the evil
Try
wizard
Sonic
Sujano
Colors.
and Wicked Gamer, and I'm gonna be a good guy. I'm not going to murder any goblins.
That just means you're gonna murder more things, though.
I'm not. I'm gonna do the right thing in my heart this time.
I'm running Sly 3. I got to get through the dialogue setting, but already it's running at 50% speed. So not
Yeah, I
too
was gonna. Slide 3 is rough.
I do have it at 1.5x. Let me
I'm
change
not
it down.
lying. Why are you saying that I'm lying as RH? No. Look at
does
that.
anyone does
confidence.
anyone have a save state already for Jack and Daxter?
Look at Rob.
No, unfortunately, I don't have it loaded on this one.
Crash nipples.
Here we go. Here's a classic image. Home improvement.
Yeah, I put that on my video for today.
I gotta watch that.
I was
I'm
like,
gonna- I'm gonna
my
watch
good
when you
friend
play.
Stubbs.
I'm gonna watch when you play. Oh, thanks, man.
Hey,
I'm
Sonic
gonna,
Colors looks pretty good.
I'm gonna watch when you play Zone Zen Zero. Is that what it's called? Zero Zone
Zero
Zero.
Zen Zone.
Endless Zone Zero.
Zenless Zone Zero. Yes.
Yeah, ZZZ.
ZZZ. Someone's asking for ZZZ in chat here. Does anyone have ZZZ installed?
It takes forever.
22
gigabytes.
gigabytes. I
I'll
didn't
check.
install it.
I don't think I have all of the assets downloaded though.
And yes, Samplist Tech. I think I have 7 requests from you now for Jack and Daxter. So that's the next. That by
Yeah,
by
I'll
weight
load it up.
by
But
weight
it's gonna
of
take a little bit of time.
yeah, we'll get Jack and Daxter. I
So
also
here's
have that
Sly
one. I
3.
have this one.
It's like 50% when you're actually looking at the mountain or whatever this is. You look away and you're like, oh my gosh, look, it's running at full speed. It's because it doesn't have to process anything. But when you're actually trying to play it, not good. So this is worse than Sly 1. Sly 1 I would actually play. So
All right, let me get
I can pull
There's an
up.
extra
I
going.
just need to change SD cards, but I can pull up Sly or Jack and Daxter if you guys don't have it.
I have it already loaded. I just don't have a save spot for it, but I'll open it up.
Oh,
I should be
no,
able
there's
to
a trick
fast
to
forward.
that. There's a trick to that. So
Oh,
go
show us.
where
Show
are you
us.
at in the menu?
yeah, I have it open
Giving
right
away
now.
all my secrets right now. Okay, so when you start up a new game, save a new profile, do all that stuff, and then you start the game, and then it starts like the Dorkiko, whatever, all that stuff.
Mhm.
Exit out of the emulator, and then start it
Wow.
back up, and then load your game, and it'll go right back to that. Like it'll go to that training field, like that first level. So that's how you skip that like 5
Let
minute
me
cut.
fix the black eye thing because I'll do that when I start the game. So don't save state nothing, just close it.
Don't even save state. Yeah, watch.
Okay.
I'll walk you through it right now. I'll walk everyone through it. Whoever.
Oh yeah, it doesn't it prompt you to
246.
resume where you left
Yeah,
off?
that's the reason I never play this game because that's
Yeah, you
cutscenes
can
The
skip
intro
so
is so long. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, save all that. You just save it. Did you save the game or did you just start it?
I'm not sure if it's. Let me restart it because I don't know if it.
I think you press no on save.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got to save like a file. It'll be like, oh, you want to
Yeah.
format your card, all that stuff.
I forgot. This is one of those weird games where you have to use the stick and the D-pad to navigate the menus.
I do this
Yeah.
all the time on stream, man. People will see just how many I accidentally back out of things and press the wrong
Well, it's
thing.
just
I launch some other game.
The PlayStation 2 is that era where things started getting better, but there was still a lot of wonkiness happening.
It's why none of us want to play Okami because it's got a 25-minute.
God,
Yeah.
no.
You can watch a whole episode of TV just
Oh,
waiting
yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
It's a brutal one.
And I'd like to take this moment to talk about bands.
Oh no.
He finally printed his
no.
tower, his dongle tower. So it holds the dongles, all the dongles. There's a song about it that's producer Sony made. And so you can do all your controller dongles. I'm serious. You get the STL for this. Look all the dongles you can fit in here. Like what, 20? A bunch of them. And then you can do your micro SD cards up top there.
All right,
little
it's saved.
and little
So
and
just
big
close
ones.
it now.
Okay, let me see where you're. Yeah, so then just
Yeah.
exit out of the game, like go into
Like,
the emulator.
shut it down
settings.
all the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yep,
okay,
just-
okay.
exit out, then start the game back up, and now load your game. I'm giving you guys all my trade secrets. You're gonna get all my views now.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm here for.
We were only able to snipe views yesterday, and then today it was all over.
No, it's all we all win.
We all win.
When anybody gets a view, we all win.
What's cool about people doing videos around the same time as each other is like people will want those other opinions. And so there's just, I always always say to new YouTubers, yes, there's room for you to go in here, make a channel, put your voice out there because people want to hear from everybody. They don't want just one or two reviewers' opinions. It's really nice to get a comprehensive, idea of something. If you really are interested in buying something, God, when I buy like a camera or anything, I want to see 3 to 4 different opinions.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mine
that's
is
typically
definitely.
how I
ideal.
am, too.
Yeah, so
Yeah, look at
it's-
that. You're in there. You didn't even have to do the cutscene.
Let me just because the eyes are broken. Let me see if I remember. It's over here. Yeah.
Stubbs, I got a game. So
Ooh,
it is. I don't know the name of this game. Shin Megami Tensei Digital
Tensei.
Devil Saga.
oh, cool.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So this one, I'm just in the corridors. Later on, it'll get harder, but I am seeing a little bit of slowdown here. I see like
Okay.
right there and stuff. So this one's probably going to be mostly playable, but I feel like it's one of those where you just want to turn your stats off so you don't see it. And you're like, oh, I wonder if that was slowdown. I'll never know. Like that's sometimes ignorance is bliss when you're really close to having something that's at full speed. So that would be my recommendation. But yeah, it looks like
Looks
I want
nice.
to play some role-playing games.
The Shin Megami games should mostly work. 3 can be a little bit rough on some consoles, but on this chip, I don't think I had a lot of issues with it.
Mhm. Yeah, this is one I
Also-
tested thoroughly in the Retroid Pocket Mini, and that one did really well.
So on the first stage, Jack and Daxter at 1.5 works fine, but I want to get it all the way to the village because there's an area right in the middle of the village where if you move the camera around, it'll drop to like 45, 50 FPS. So I want to know if that's working here. Also, if you guys play this game just for like chat, I'm sure you guys already know, and you have the black eye thing where the character's eyes are blacked out, go into the game configuration, the one with the eye that Russ was talking about earlier, all the way down to advanced, and then you just turn on textures inside RT, and that fixes it.
Nice. Yeah, often if we do one of those manual changes, it'll give you some errors and be like, oh, now these aren't working. So then you sometimes will have to go in, remember what those were, and then change those too, just to get everything working smoothly. But yeah, those are always fun to work with. I'm going to do Okami. I'm just going to turn on fast forward here, and I'm just going to see if we can get to actual playable thing before we're done with our stream.
Just play the DS Okami game. You'll be fine.
Hey, that's a good one.
I know it is.
Hominid is great.
It's too much touch reliant, though. You know what I mean? Like that's the
Yeah,
problem with that one.
I think
It's
that's
not
why a lot of us
taking
don't
piece.
demonstrate it much because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just removed my camera entirely from the stream now just to save on some bandwidth.
I got some Outrun 2 on here if you guys want to check that out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
PS2 version? Yeah.
Yeah. So I
Look at that.
I disabled hardware download mode just to kind of help things out a little bit. It's not quite full speed, but I think the PAL version might be able to do it. But again, it's like one of those cases where this is running a lot better than I would have ever expected it to.
Yeah. Do you have it on disabled readbacks or unsynchronized for the hardware
It's
download?
on disabled.
Okay.
what's the difference?
Some games work better with one than the other. I don't know.
It's good old tinkering.
It's a foreign
right?
language
So-
to me.
Yeah. Push the button thing work. Okay.
Yeah, this is pretty solid though. I mean, this is actually very surprising.
That's why people like Linux handhelds, because somebody does all of this for them.
See, that's why I'm really coming around to it.
Android's king. Sorry.
I'm on your team.
I know your team Android age.
Yeah, you guys are team. I started life on Team Android, and now I'm Team Linux. Really,
I do like Rocknix on the RP5 though. I will say that.
Yeah, it seems like it's the only thing that's
It's
annoying.
just a nice little tinkering just a little extra boost.
No, but the reason I like Rocknix on there is because there's actually a fast forward hotkey for Dolphin.
Ooh.
That's it. That's my main reason. Like as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm sold.
Do you get better performance on there now?
On some games, it's a little bit better than others, but it kind of varies. You can kind of go back and forth. Mostly though, you'll be able to play most games pretty evenly, but there's going to be a few that are going to give you trouble, at least from my experience. But then again, the PlayStation 2 catalog is like 4,000 games, so I can't tell you they're all going to work.
That's why I like when it says, "Can you play the entire library?" I'm like,
no,
I don't think that you understand how many games there are in PS2.
No. Like if somebody wants to specifically like, oh, I want the best compatibility with PlayStation 2, get a handheld PC.
Look at this freaking mom van. Get out of my way.
Yeah, I mean, Rocknix seems like a good way to go. But the only reason I'm really not using it day to day is because you have to launch into Android first and then switch over to it.
Yeah, but you can also set up a single SD card for both.
Well, kind of. I ran into a lot of issues with that.
Yeah, that's true. It's not perfect.
The Android side has a hard time reading it. I think once they implement exFAT, then that's probably going to be easier on the Android side to read. But that was the main thing. It's only RetroArch would work with the Rocknix card. Like it would read it. I could transfer game files over, no problem. But when I tried to actually load any game on a standalone emulator, it wouldn't work.
And can we just take a minute to appreciate Rob's amazing drifting skills?
He's about to run out of time.
Can you tell I play Outrun a lot or what? I noticed on the stream, it looks like it's slower than what it actually is in person. I don't know if you guys are seeing that as well.
I mean, what do you have?
Yeah.
I
I
guess
think
it
it's the
depends.
frame rate itself, not in the game, but like on the actual
camera?
recording. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's probably
Yeah.
compression too. It's not gonna look as good as it is on person. That's why when people try to tell me like that looks like it has latency, I'm like, dude, you're watching a YouTube video on this. Like, don't base it off of that.
Yeah. Yeah, you really have to just describe, you know, what are you seeing? Okay, so now we have what Daxter, right, for PSV?
Yeah, it's a cutscene, so there's a little bit of slowdown, but it's a cutscene. I'm trying to see if the village will run full speed.
Can you
Yeah, you're almost there.
Can you pull it up closer to your camera? I wonder if it'll remove some of the artifacting. It's just not quite focusing all the way.
Too fast.
Oh no. Hey, it's closer now. It's closer.
You wanted it closer, right?
Yeah, that works.
I'm still running the Okami cutscenes. I'm at 250%.
Let me know if that's
fast
better.
forward.
I think that it's actually kind of worse.
It's actually worse. Believe it or not. What is it? Why is it? I guess it's
It's trying to focus on his beautiful hands.
Yeah, or
Yeah.
the light.
Oh,
There you go. There you go.
there it is.
We're good. We're good.
Don't move.
Not an inch.
Don't breathe.
Isn't that like one of the hardest things when you're recording footage for a video? How you have to like hold it in a certain way so that it just
I
no
always lose
glares,
this
nothing.
stupid, there it is,
I know.
stupid door.
And you can't move it at all. So like, and you're also trying to play the game decently.
Oh yeah, I'm already getting slowed down here. It's
Well,
not
occasionally I'll get comments
terrible,
like
but-
that looks really awkward to hold. I'm like, I have to hold it a certain way just because I'm trying not to move the handheld in any weird way so that the image doesn't get distorted.
Well,
Oh yeah.
well,
And
and
it's like
that's
a
why-
whole art to it, you know?
Yeah, that's why I found.
Oh
been
yeah, I'm getting some
experimenting-
really bad slowdown here.
Oh yeah, I see that. That's why I've been experimenting with doing the Digi Osmo Pocket camera. You know, carrying it around in my neck. And I did those outside videos and you know around the house and stuff. Like, well, because it's like, why not film myself playing with these things in my natural environment? I don't have a camera person to hold something, so
Try dropping it to
it's fun, but
1x.
it's also an extra.
You should never had Ben leave the attic.
I know, he just films me, from up there. I don't.
Okay, 1x resolution. It seems pretty good. This is an area where you'll see slowdown, and it got out of
Yeah.
focus again.
Yeah, I don't.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah, we'll take your word for it. And
Yeah,
I
there
don't
it is.
know.
There we go.
And again, I don't know how important it is to see us in our natural habitats, playing on the couch or whatever. But I think it's good to offer that from time to time.
I'll do it once in a while.
A little
just
bit of
for fun.
slowdown there.
I have a hard time because I don't want to dox myself. And the thing about
Right.
Hawaii is that everybody knows every location. Like it's one of those, like, the whole film or the whole series of Lost was
Yeah,
filmed
I
here
had
on
to
Oahu, right?
Set this
And
Right.
we
up
made a
higher.
game out of it. We're like, okay, where was this scene filmed? And we're like, okay,
Oh,
that
that's
was
fun.
this building on this street. Like we can figure, like the characters are in Korea, but no, it's not. It's like this one street that my wife knows, and so that's why I have a hard time showing myself outdoors because
You,
I don't want to show where I live.
you know what movie we had to get excited about? And like, oh, they filmed this scene here and this scene here. You know what we got here in Portland? We got Twilight. So I'll
Yeah,
take yours.
the pasty folks that
Lost
glitter.
is way cooler.
Yeah, so there's
Yeah, it was
slowdown
super
on
cool to
Jack.
see those guys around.
If you can deal with a little bit of that, but there's areas where I feel like it's going to be worse, like when you have to go over the fire fields.
Nicolas Cage was also homeless with a beard around downtown Portland with a pig a couple years ago too. I got to watch that movie that finally came out.
Oh, nice. Sounds like a lovely time.
I think it was just him just walking around and they were just kind
Yeah.
of filming him. But
Rob, what are you playing? This is not Jack and Daxter.
Dark Watch.
Oh, I don't even ever heard of this.
Oh,
Russ-
this is great. This is a
Russ,
great game.
watching your video today, I
I'm
really want
adding
to
this
try.
to my list.
I want to try Time Splitters. Likewise,
Mm.
Time Splitters
This
is
game-
so good.
It's
So
Time
good.
Splitters.
Such
It's like
a-
an
such a
updated
great
GoldenEye.
yeah,
Yeah.
I just found that out from somebody on Discord. They were like, "Oh, do you not know that?"
Here we
It's-
go again, Stubbs.
it's
If
the
you
same
watched my
team.
videos, you would
I
know
know.
this.
I don't. Here's the thing, guys. Listen. Here is the thing. I listen to your guys' videos. Okay, I don't watch your videos so much as I listen to them and hear your sultry voices telling me information which I can take in and digest for the podcast. And
This is
spout
running
off.
really good in the
But,
beach section.
it's hard for me to sit down, like look at the entire thing. Like now is this and now it's that. So
But in town, it does slow
That's
down
my-
now.
that's my
Yeah.
best excuse, Rob.
How dare you? And what gives you the right?
Well, I'm with you every Monday, and
That's
I
true.
love you, and we're
That
going
is
to be at
looking great.
CES together. And I already know.
Oh yeah, that looks lovely.
Okay, so I'm still at 175% speed. Now running fast forward, I'm at 1x resolution. I had dropped it down to a 0.5x to make it a little faster.
And I can't multitask with my senses. It's true. I can only use one sense at a time.
Oh, also, Beetle Core Saturn doesn't run full speed.
Yeah, I found the same. But it's interesting though. Yabusan Shiro Core in RetroArch is running a lot better than it did with the 556. So I feel like something happened on the emulator side or some sort of GPU driver within the Android build. But like games that just would not load, like a black screen, they were fine, including like Lost Bronx. I was really surprised to see that.
Dude, I get that with Java. I get that black screen all the time. Even on the standalone emulator, it's a pain.
Yeah, it's actually worse on the standalone one. I've kind of stopped using it just because it is so often I'll get a black screen. I'm like, oh no, I'll just stick with the RetroArch Core.
Yeah, I had all kinds of problems with RetroArch, and then it was the BIOS for Saturn that was in the wrong spot. And then I did that and it started working. I was like, man, I felt so dumb when that happened.
But well, the cores, each core has different requirements too, and so that's always a pain. So. Okay, look, I can move around. Oh my gosh. Well, so I'm at least at the very beginning, and at native resolution, it's running. I mean, it's good.
Hey.
So I'm going to go through here. I think there's more cutscenes before I can actually move again, but still.
Okami. Hey, what about Pico 8 on here? I wonder what that would look like. I actually haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, you have to use the emulator, or you have to use WinLater.
Yeah, WinLater.
Yeah.
You know what I use, and it doesn't work super well, but it still works, is just that, what is it, that website that does, or it's an app. It's an app.
That app.
Oh,
Yeah,
that app is good, yeah.
What's it? What is that called again? Pico 8? I don't know.
Here's God of War if anybody wants to see it.
I made a video about it anyways.
Yeah.
But this one's running with a mild underclock.
It's going to drive me crazy. What is this?
Okay.
So what's
save it.
interesting
Okay.
is I recently had like loaded up Okami on PS2, and then I did the remastered version on
All
Switch.
right.
And I'm like, visually, I actually really like the way the Switch version looks much more.
Oh.
There's a weird grainy effect on the PS2 version. So if you can play the remastered one, it's probably the way to go nowadays.
Yeah.
Does anybody else think that God of War 2 actually runs easier than God of War 1? Or is it just
It
me?
depends on the scene. Yeah. Like, yeah, it's hard to say. God of War 1 is hard to play on the Steam Deck of all things, which is interesting. At least with the EmuDeck default settings.
And to follow up on earlier, I'm a little slower than you guys right now, but I googled what's that Pico 8 app for Android called, and the first result is my video. And I'm like, what? Okay, I have to go into the description. What was it called? Pico 8 Go. It's called Pico 8
What,
Go.
you never refer to your own videos when you forget
I
stuff?
do it all the time.
I do when I had to mod a 35XX. I'm like, okay, what was the screwdriver I used? How did I get into this housing? Yeah, I've done that. But
I love
Pico 8 Go.
going in and updating my written guide to find out I already made the update. I do that all the time.
Yeah, I've done that. Done things like that.
And I got bit.
Okay, well, let's see. What other questions do we have here? Lots of games to choose from. Multiple requests for Shadow of the Colossus. Maybe we
Yeah,
can
that game
take a look
doesn't
at
work right on anything.
that right out the gate.
No, even more powerful systems struggle with that game. Like, it's probably we can run it, but
And why are none of us testing Finny the Fish
Hey, that's a pretty underrated game
for PS2?
Yeah,
Where's
there's a
Finny
lot
at?
of weird games.
Justice for Finny.
How about some Tulip? That's a really weird one too.
Dude, how about a Chalupa, man? Taco Bell?
There's that
Oh,
one.
yeah, you got that Decades
Dog's
menu,
Life?
guys? Anyone try that out yet?
No.
No, I haven't yet.
Is it gluten free?
I mean, you could probably make it gluten free. Just
Hell yeah.
scoop out the
Hey,
beef. Wait,
killed the
actually,
giant
wait. I
snake.
think the beef
All
has some gluten in it. 'Cause
Dude, why
add
are they
all sorts of stuff.
why are they glutenizing? Why are they
Because
glutenizing
they add
the beef?
fillers to it.
Why are they glutenizing the beef? You don't need
because
it.
it's not a single piece of beef.
It
They're
comes
gluing it
out of a
together.
cardboard box. What do you
Yeah.
think?
They put
That's
just
how they
meat.
That's how they
put
glue
meat.
it.
They put raw meat in a cardboard box with like no padding or anything.
Oh, there's lots of
Well, I
padding.
guess-
There's all
I
sorts
guess-
of stuff in there.
I guess the meat is its own padding, really.
Yeah, it's
But how
already
does it
dead.
not-
You're not gonna hurt it anymore.
But how does the meat not get too wet and go through the box over time?
You freeze it.
Okay.
No, that's usually in a plastic bag inside
I
the
was gonna
box.
say it's a bag in the box. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm
like-
seeing like
in a
no
box,
issues
right,
with
Rob?
Okami. I'm gonna upscale it just to double check, but a 1x is great.
All right.
So I'm so far. I mean, it's been almost 30 minutes. Yeah, slowing down a bit with 1.5x. Not too bad. It's just right at the cusp. So I'm not sure if you'd want to risk it.
I'm loading up Shadow of the Colossus right now. Hey, I used to
Taco
work
Bell
at Taco
meat.
Bell. I
Can we
met
just
that.
give a shout out
Me
to our
too.
producer? How amazing he is!
He's
Just-
so good. Producer Sony is so good. He's so fast. He's so fast with
it's
the drops.
Can we get a Stubbs version of that same image with his face shocked?
I'm shocked at how meat's able to be packed, man.
What was the
That's
quick
right.
trick for it? Was the sword shining outside, right?
Super chat. Oh, super chat. Yes. Unlimited boss. Thank you for your super chat. Can y'all test Mobster Hunter 3 or Ultimate 4 Ultimate or 3 Ultimate 3DS version?
You can. It'll work if you use the patches for it. Get the back here, you dumb horse.
Yeah,
Ooh,
so
that
you got to
could've
get
gone
on the
wrong.
horse, then ride, then use the sword. That will give you a good idea. But the big thing, you have to climb the mountain and get to the first boss, and that'll
Yeah.
show you right then. That takes about
Dude,
10 minutes.
this horse hates me. And no, it's already slowing down, and I'm not even doing anything.
Yeah, I
love-
don't think this.
I
is
love
gonna be
doing this
playable.
with the pistol, guys. You got to check this out. How cool this is!
Yeah,
Hold
it's
on.
not. This game's not going to be a fun time.
How he just like fans it. I love it. It's the coolest thing ever.
So
Yeah,
this
you
is
guys,
that
you guys have to check out Dark Watch. It's a
Dark
really
Watch?
fun. It's a fun game.
Oh, this is
This
a
is looking
slideshow.
really good.
Wait, what system is it for? I totally missed this.
It's PS2.
Yes.
Well,
Oh,
I'm dead.
PS2. Okay. Dark Watch.
Yeah, my,
okay.
my camera's making it seem slower than what it is. It's really annoying.
Guys, this
Well,
is
we
so
trust you.
cinematic.
We trust you. You're a YouTuber. We trust you.
It's cinematic. Look at it. Look at it. Look at that slow mo.
Ooh. So it really is. It's we call it the cinematic frame rate, and it may be slow and not super enjoyable to play, but man, it looks great.
The thing
And
about these
this
Team Michael
is
games is
neither.
that they just make you want to hate the game. Like the controls, like
It's
it's
so
this
bad.
Last Guardian. It's like
yeah, it has.
they
Yeah.
make it so hard.
I remember back in the day when this came out, though, I remember sitting and playing it from the start of the game, I think until the end, like in one giant sitting, because I was so impressed and in awe of the environment back
Oh,
then
yeah,
in
it's
what,
amazing.
2005. I was like, wow, are they doing this? The
Yeah,
boss
and it
fights.
was
of those-
all boss fights, so it's just
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah,
It's like the first Dark Souls kind of idea.
Fan is going crazy right
What's
now.
funny is the first time I played Shadow of the Colossus was actually it was the PS3 version.
Mm.
Really?
So it was a little bit better of an experience. The PS2 version was pretty
I remember
rough.
I remember loving it. It didn't feel
Oh, it's a
rushed
great game.
on,
It's
on
just
launch day. On
Can
launch
I
just that
day.
you
stop-
could tell it was
Can I
pushing
stop
the
playing this
PS2.
now? It's upsetting me.
Sure, yeah. I was working at a
I'm
Game
gonna
Crazy.
save state it.
I was
I'm
working
gonna
at
save
Game
state it
Crazy
accident.
at the time, up here in Portland at the time. And I remember, it came out at work and everyone's coming in to buy it. I'm like, what's this game all about? Popped it in our PS2 at the store and just sat there, in between customers all day long, just playing Shadow of the Colossus. My boss came in. He was like, stuff is the till closed down yet? I'm like, I'm trying. I need to do this right now. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
I,
do Valkyrie
I
profile.
bought the PS2 whatever year that came out, like around Christmas time, and it got.
Yeah.
I remember I got Grand Theft Auto, I got Metal Gear Solid 2, and then I got Ico, and I was like, I put that game in, and it was just so strange. There's no instructions, there's no tutorial. You just kind of have to figure things out, like who is what and all that stuff. And I remember thinking, like, what is this? Is this art? Like in my video game? Like, what's going on here? And it really sat with me all these years. So it's kind of amazing. So I pulled up, someone had asked about Streets of Rage 4, just the Android game. It's running fine. So no problem. I didn't expect anything less, but yeah, it's running great.
Your resolution is very retro.
Like here, like up above it, or
No,
what?
just the video feed.
Oh,
Yeah, Streets of
Yeah,
Rage
I
is
have
one of
it
those
right.
games that won't scale to the 4.3. It just puts it in.
yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's okay.
looking good.
Stubbs will find a way to stretch it. It's cool.
Yeah, man. I'll stretch things off the clock. from Retro Handhelds, I will every once in a while. It's acceptable, I think, to stretch. But
You know what's funny? I will admit I
In-
stretched Switch games on my.
oh, you
Mini,
see,
and it was
Phil,
actually
Philip, that
bad.
screen real estate. Just
Yeah,
accept
it
the
was
characters
good.
are a little
I
bit
liked it.
distorted.
Oh,
Yeah, right.
I was about to
Let's
say
just go on a
Valkyrie
diet, that's
profile
all.
is kind of working, and then I switched areas and it broke the game.
Every once in a while, in the heat of the moment, I think it's good to stretch.
So Matt has a question about favorite handheld for PS2. I did a video about like what's my favorite for each system, and I think it was the Odin 2 because that's just the one that I like to play it on. I don't know. It might become the Odin 2 Portal, which shipped yesterday, and so
What? What?
Yeah,
Stop the
I
stream.
have an early test unit coming. Yeah.
Excuse me. Hold
He
on.
does.
Russ, can we switch to your face cam? I have to ask you a question.
Oh.
Okay, that's the stream.
Hold on.
Let me pink you. Let me pink you.
Russ,
Okay.
hello, let me get the music going. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that was good.
Is
All
this
right.
interrogation? What's happening?
Yeah. No, we can just do like chill
Oh,
music.
this game is broken.
So you have the Odin 2 Portal on the way. My Goldilocks to your house.
It's like a CNC or whatever version, like
Right.
an early unit.
Early
Oh,
prototype.
wow.
And so they already sent me a list of like all these things are broken. It's like software related, but then also a couple hardware things. Nothing that I think prevents me from at least doing an impressions video. So I already ordered my own, and then I think they'll probably send me a review unit as well.
Okay.
So this is just going to be like basically, you know, those like where they showing off test videos, like, hey, here's a game playing on the Odin 2 Portal, like one of those units, like the early samples. So, but it should be enough, hopefully, to be able to get an idea of the screen. That's the thing I'm most interested in. So,
Me too.
Am I
Me
the
too.
only one that's not super hyped for the Odin Portal?
All right, let's remove. Hey, producer Sony,
Yeah.
can you remove Aish from the stream?
permanently.
Thank you. Permanently, thank you.
Well, see, for me, the Portal
I'll be
is.
seeing him back on here.
I'm hoping it can be kind of the G Cloud replacement that we've all been waiting for. That G Cloud with more power.
Welcome
that's
back.
what
Right.
I've been hoping for.
I think that the thing I'm worried about though is that it is so close to the Steam Deck in size. It is.
Yeah,
very
that's
close.
why I'm not super hyped for it, because it's an Android
Yeah.
handheld, but it's huge. That's the only
Right.
reason. Like if it was
Yeah, hype for the
Odin
Portal, man.
sized, yeah, if they
No.
kept it like Odin sized with just a bigger screen and OLED, it would have been amazing. But it just seems like it's going to be really big. And for Android,
Yeah.
I kind of prefer something a little bit more compact.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not saying it's not going to be great, Stubbs. I'm nothing like that. I'm sure it's going to be a really good handheld. I'm just not that hyped for it because of the size. Battery
I'm
profile
optimistic.
is broken, so don't try to play that game on this.
Oh, that sucks. I moved over to Switch, so this is Alien Hominid HD, and actually running full speed. Not bad. This
Get
game
hyped
is a
for the
lot of fun.
Odin. Get hyped for the Odin 2 Portal. Get hyped for that Odin 2 Portal.
It's always
The
crazy
Immortal.
to play the
Get
GBA
a
version
Portal.
of this game and then try the Switch version because it's just like totally different. But yeah, like I'm not seeing any slowdown. This is really impressive.
This game just brings me back to the new ground days.
Yeah.
The remastered version is really nice too. The
I don't
artwork-
even have Switch on here yet. Let's do some
Get hyped
PSP.
for the Portal. The Odin 2 Portal.
Are we just not going to talk about his hat?
Yeah, we're just
Get
gonna
hyped
ignore it.
For the Odin 2 Portal. It's immortal. It'll be my one and done. Rob, you'll be on the run. Come on.
If it's lightweight like the Cloud, that'll be pretty awesome.
It will be good.
That's what I'm really
It'll be
hoping for.
All
I don't
right.
have a lot of Switch games loaded on this, but I'll show you what I have at least. And so, Sonic Mania, I'm expecting this to be just fine.
Whoa, what is this set to? Oh, 6X, that's why.
Oops.
Oof. So you can't do 3X God of War on PSP. I'm gonna drop it to 2X.
Yeah, it's integer scaled at 2x, so you wouldn't want to go above it anyway.
There you go, 2X.
Sorry, I couldn't.
Wait, what's
I
wrong with
couldn't-
your game? You're further than the very first scene. That's
Oh,
not what happened here.
So on I have PPSP files on the SD card, so I can just load them up
right.
that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a save game. It's a little further than that, but yeah, it's like
Yeah.
no one ever shows this stuff.
Wait, there's more after that.
Says that Zeus
Stage?
testing out the Odin 3. Do we have any evidence of that?
I'm surprised that
No.
they can't do 3x though. I know it's not really necessary for this screen to go that high, but I'm just surprised the performance isn't there for that.
Yeah, it should be able to. I mean,
That's stern but fair.
Oh wait, yeah, because last time when I started at 3x, it started at 6x, I dropped it to 3, and it kept dropping. Actually, never mind. There you go. It's not doing it anymore.
Yeah, Quadzilla, and I'll do it again.
Okay, scratch that. It's not dropping at 3x anymore.
What's
okay.
the best compact horizontal GameCube machine? I would probably say, I mean, the best, the compact.
The Steam Deck.
Oh,
I mean,
No,
the
compact is hard though. I would compact.
the mini. I think the mini.
I mean,
I would-
the 405M. If we're talking compact, I know it takes some struggle on some of those games.
It doesn't
but
have analog triggers for GameCube though, so it can't be the best for GameCube.
Are we considering this one to be compact?
I would say so. Yeah.
Because I would rather play GameCube games on this than the Retroid Pocket Mini.
Yes, same.
I would still take the 5 though.
Yeah, especially with those widescreen patches.
Yeah,
but
I'd
even
still play the
yeah,
five.
even if you're just playing 4x3 though, bigger display with 4x3 games, and the black
Analog
bars
stick up
aren't
top.
really that bad.
It's nice to have
That's
your
true.
hands.
That's true. That's true. Makes
Nice to have your hands a little further apart too.
no, but
Yes,
it's true
locking is
for
great.
GameCube. The analog stick up top is better, and
Yeah,
the stick does
another-
feel. I really like this analog stick. I don't know what Stubbs is on about it not being good.
What on what?
Oh yeah, actually, never mind. There's way more than enough power to run 3x in here
Aish, which handheld are you saying I don't like the sticks on?
on this one.
The H?
Yeah.
No, I like the sticks. I don't like how tall the sticks are. That's all. I was talking about maybe we can clip the post down and the sticks down a little bit, but I'm afraid of breaking everything.
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't do that.
Seems like a bad idea. In fact, I'm getting
Yeah.
used to it. And when I'm playing, games, shooting FPS games, I really like that extra control that you get because it's not recessed. So you get full control, full motion, full travel, which is awesome. It's just just the slightest bit more effort to kind of hold my thumb in the up direction to sort of.
And I understand the pocketability thing. But let's be honest, is how often are we really carrying these in our pockets like throughout the day?
Well,
all day.
all
I don't
day.
even have a job. I just do this stuff.
Yeah, when I'm in line at UPS, when I'm actually like checking out at UPS.
I'm gonna be in a line a lot nowadays since all the snowbirds came back. So let me tell you, a handheld would be clutch.
Rob, you came from the East Coast, dude. You're a snowbird yourself.
No, shh. What are you talking about?
Ah,
That's the CMU one right there, Rob.
Oh yeah, this is Simu. Yep. I didn't
Yeah,
realize
I did
I didn't
that.
realize we were on my screen.
Yeah, I tested this one too, and yeah, it's like at 40 frames. Unfortunately, you can turn on the stats if you go into.
Yeah, I
settings
know.
to-
I didn't have a chance to. I was just actually setting everything up because I actually haven't configured it yet, like fully configured it.
It's kind of amazing that any of these games are even running.
yeah.
That's what I always say. I'm still kind of amazed just by the fact that this is even happening.
Yeah,
CMU is just a really good emulator.
Even this early on, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, now I'm at the naughty part, so I'm gonna switch games.
what game are you playing?
God of War, Chains of Olympus.
Oh, you don't have to do the naughty part. don't
No,
think
yeah,
I
you do. What? Blasphemy.
I moved on to the Messenger on Switch. It's not running full
ooh.
speed, so it's like at 40 frames out of 60. So
My favorite.
it's a
Messenger's
little bit
so good.
slow. Yeah,
Dude,
but it's
But Switch in general, I would say don't play on here anyways. You're gonna get those bars and all that. It's gonna be super hit or miss, and the 5
Yeah.
is just gonna be such a better experience.
oh yeah. The Odin Portal is going to be a much better experience.
Oh, Oh,
It's the
Odin-
size of the LAX.
I heard Odin 2 Portal mentioned.
So-
I heard.
Someone
I
says
heard-
they keep us. Retrospect says that they keep a save state right at the naughty part. So that's clutch. That's the way to do it.
I heard
You know what
Odin
I'm saying?
2. I heard Odin 2 mentioned.
Windex is back.
Odin Portal. Let's get hype. We're coming at you. 2025. Odin 2 Portal makes me feel alive. Russ from Retro Game Core is getting an early unit. I really hope that
How
I
much
get.
is the how much is the 1 terabyte model of that one?
Doesn't matter.
For the portal,
It's a lot.
Yeah, for the
it's
portal.
a lot. Yeah.
I got the mid-tier
Price
one.
is good. Goodbye.
You could just get a you could just get an Ally X for about the same price.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I see the prices here.
That's what's up. All right, sorry. Back to the stream.
Yeah, the high-end one is $500.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Okay, so it's still cheaper than the Ally X, but it's still up there. I mean, you can get a Steam Deck for that price.
Okay, I moved on to Sea of Stars. I've got a save game loaded, so it should take me about halfway through the game. in
The funny
underwater
thing is, the
area.
portal has more backers than a couple of Aya Neo devices.
Yeah. Look, I don't mean to sound like I'm down on the
No, I
portal.
know. You know, well, it's good to have
Yeah.
contrasting opinions. I
Yeah.
mean, you do bring up a good point, though. I mean, if you're going for that size, and
Mhm.
yeah,
And for people
why
that have
wouldn't
been
you start
waiting
to
for
consider
it, I'm hyped for them. Like I was there actually like a year ago. I was still like I remember I was over the G Cloud and I was like, dude, I would love an Android handheld this size.
Yeah.
But then handheld PCs started getting a lot better. So it's like at that size, which one would I really rather carry with me? A Steam Deck or an Ally that can play PC games and emulate, or just something for Android? So that's just the thought process. It doesn't mean it's the same for everybody. Like for a lot of people, I'm sure this is going to be like their end game device, and that's awesome.
Okay, so I'm getting about 38 frames per second out of 60. So this is, I mean, I'm always more forgiving with role-playing games because I'm like, oh, yes, there's
I'm the
no
same way. Yeah.
urgency here, but no, this is too much. And so I wouldn't enjoy playing this game, especially because there's time attacks in this. You got to like hit it at the right time, like Mario RPG, you know? So yeah, I wouldn't say this is playable. It's kind of a bummer because this would be kind of a fun game. And yeah, the 16:9 does give you the big black bars, but because it's a 4-inch display, I don't know, I kind of find it somewhat forgivable. And so I think it still would be playable if it was at full speed.
Trying to look for any other Switch games we have in the list here as we start to wrap up.
Any Switch games? Yeah, I got a couple. And let me see what I have here.
What about Monster Hunter 4 or 3? Do we have that? 3DS?
No.
Okay,
have
sorry.
a lot.
I don't have it set up, but you need patches for that one to run, but it will run.
Okay, cool. That's good to know. Matt HM, thank you for the super chat, man. Favorite handheld for PS2? Curious what we think. Just for playing
That's
PS2.
what started us talking on the Odin 2 Portal.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
we covered this question.
Okay,
Yeah.
I got really excited about that. Sorry. Thanks, Matt. Great. We need a super chat of all my hats. Yeah, I do have a number of hats now that I've collected. So yeah, I'm down for that. Can you try Rogue Galaxy? That's a awesome PS2 game. We'll see if we have that in our arsenal.
I don't have it, fortunately.
Okay, we're gonna skip that.
Oh, wait,
No
why
more
are we
Rogue
not
It's one of those games that's also very problematic. It's more of an emulation issue than anything.
Somebody wants to see the stacked screens on Citra or Lime, just 3DS.
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thank you. Sir.
Real quick though, this is Lumines and it is remastered on Switch and it's not running full speed, about 45 frames per second. So yeah, not good. Okay. Yeah, definitely don't buy this for Switch.
No,
Don't try
no.
Wind Waker HD either.
Okay.
I figured.
Oh, Rogue Squadron. That's definitely a recurring classic that we get asked about.
Mhm.
Yeah, good luck on that one.
Did you do Rogue Squadron, Russ, in your video though?
I did not know.
Okay, so we skipped
It's
that.
too much. Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a one that's tough to run, and we have to get pretty far into the game. Oh, this is ridiculous. Hold on. Okay.
Well, on this one, you'll know like off on the first stage because it's just not gonna run. But
Yeah.
you need to get into at least like the third stage to really get an idea. This is Wind Waker HD, and it's not looking good, but
Does anybody want to take the time to get that far in
No.
Rogue Squadron? Or should we?
It takes a while. It'll take like 15-20 minutes to get there.
Let's defer it. 'Cause
Okay,
don't
for
wanna-
3DS, I've got a game going. So if you want to see what the screens look like, so this is just the top screen only, side by side, with like the smaller one. This is top and bottom. I don't know. It'll be up to you. I think that's too small for me, and I don't know. This amount of wasted space kind of bothers me too.
Yeah, I think
that's
it's
what
like
it
one of
looked
those
like.
situations where you're better focusing on games that don't rely on the bottom
This
screen
is-
as much.
Yeah,
Nice.
this is why I go. This is why I keep going back to Citra MMJ.
I'm on
Yep.
Citra MMJ too. For me, it was performing better in my favorite games.
I'm setting it up right now to get into a game really quick. Oh wait, this already has Citra MMJ. Okay.
Fahad wants to know: the button sounds annoying if you play in quiet places.
L1 R1R.
Yeah, L1
Yeah,
and R1 will be.
L1 and R1 to me are still loud, even though I fixed it more or less on my unit here. Now, unfortunately, they're a little bit sticky, so I need to get like a felt pad or something, which is what they use. I saw under the micro switches is actually like a little tiny circular felt pad that's stuck on there. But yeah, I think they're a little loud for my liking, especially like if I'm playing in bed. It's gonna wake my wife up. It's gonna wake my son up, especially if he's there, and it's just doesn't quite pass my bar for nice quiet buttons. Good question. We'll see. Can we do a size comparison with the RP4 Pro? Pricing is close for the two at this time. Do we have an RP4 Pro between us?
Yeah, let me grab it real quick.
Okay, Aish is coming in clutch here. And Bully for PS2. That's a good
Got it.
one.
Okay, yeah, I got him on now.
We'll see.
Here you go.
There you go.
They're pretty close.
That's
The
interesting.
6 is way thicker though,
Interesting. Yeah.
because of the grips. But yeah, they're not that far off in size.
If you add on the ergo grip to the RP4, it should be a little more close.
There you go. To kind of get a better feel for it.
Star Wars Episode 3, type core band cheat codes and test Mustafar dual level. That was the most demanding
These
area in my experience.
Vessels.
That's a good one to do for the full review, I think. Can you see how the Switch games look?
Yeah, I'm actually playing a short hike in 4.3 right now.
Oh, you are?
Yeah, and it's running full speed as well. No, nothing. I didn't tweak anything out of the box.
Really? Wait. So is it rendering in 4.3?
No, I stretched it.
Just
I
stretched
stretched
it.
it.
You've
Yeah.
been.
I
stretching.
told you I'm doing the
You're a
stuff
stretcher.
thing.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
stretching.
well, it's important to stretch. I mean, you really should
You're
stretch.
stretching. Yeah, it is. It's important to stretch. Yeah, I agree. I'm going to be doing a video soon about getting in shape or like staying healthy with retro handhelds, and it's going to be like on a recumbent bike, showing here's the games I'm playing while it's a true thing. Exercising keeps my hamster wheel running if I can play something. It keeps me going. But yeah, I'm going to be talking about that. So stretching is important before you do that activity.
Fox does that too. He prefers to play something like the Legion Go, because then you can detach the controllers and then like walk like on a treadmill while using like a gaming and kind of game. I get like vertigo if I try to do that, but it's pretty cool.
I was doing that also, and the only problem with the treadmill version of that is that I just kept falling off the treadmill because I would get distracted. I would get focused on the game, and then I'd forget, oh yeah, I need to stay on this treadmill, and I would just fly off. It was horrible. So I stopped that. I play with a controller now and a monitor, which is a little better. I can hold the desk. But on my recumbent bike, definitely playing with like the Legion Go or like just a laptop propped up with the controller. And I have a regular bike coming that's actually a company were like, you want to do an integration with this bike? And I'm like, I'm kind of about to talk about this anyways. So they're going to send over like a Peloton type bike that
Oh, nice.
Yes,
it's like
it's Stubbs' cleavage moment. I can't wait.
It will be. It'll be just like the thumbnail proclaimed, just like the legend foretold. We'll get. You're gonna see my dad moobs go from where they're at now to a little more. I don't know.
So I'm playing Adventure Time on 3DS, and it's actually running really well. It's a 30 frames per second game, but
I'm kind of
looking good.
amazed how well a short hike is running right now too. This
That looks
is
nice.
really
Yeah.
solid. Really solid.
Oh,
I got Gunvolt going, but the overlays are kind of a mess. It seems to be working fine though. Or 3DS. It's just they have a weird like bezel thing that I couldn't get rid of. I forgot how to do that.
Ready to Rumble 2. Is that Dreamcast, right? Or do you want
MPS2?
MPS2?
Yeah, I think there's a PS2 version, I believe.
Let us know which version.
If you do 3DS like this, it's not that terrible. Just gotta stretch it a little bit, and you're gonna have a little bit of overlay. But a 4-inch 4x3 screen is actually not that far off from what the original 3DS screen size was, so you can kind of get away with it.
And Black, that's a great first-person shooter to test those sticks on for PS2.
I think I have it. I showed it off already, but I'll
Oh, you did?
but I'll pull it up now.
No, it's okay. Cause that intro scene is so long. Unless you
Oh no, I have a save state.
Okay,
Have you guys played this game, by the way? Mighty
No.
Gunvolt?
That's a good game. Yeah,
It's a good game. It's kind of like a Mega Man spiritual successor, but I
And
kind of like this a little bit more.
Pride Tunes asks about Dual Hearts. Let's see if we have that. We're doing some 3DS.
Yeah, that layout you have is really good, Aish.
Yeah, I just need to get rid of.
I like that too.
I need to just get rid of the back here. Let me actually show you guys something for like the 3DS
Okay.
screen. Give me a second.
Yeah, and Russ was showing, in the video, and I do the same thing where I just focus on the one screen, like the top screen, and then I'll switch between with the hotkey.
So here's 2DS, like an original 2DS. Look at the actual screen size difference.
Yeah.
So you really don't lose that much doing something like this.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You're
actually
right.
a really, really good comparison.
It actually is. Yeah. I never thought about that.
So
it's very similar.
Yeah, it's a little bit smaller, but these games were made to be played on a small screen anyway. And the bottom screen is mostly for menus. So you can kind of get away with it if you really want to play 3DS games.
Can you
Also,
like this bezel thing though? And just have it just pure?
Yeah, you can. You can remove the bezel thing. I just forgot how to do it because Anbernic has it set up out of the box to come with that. But it takes up a lot of room. But yeah, you can get rid of that. That's just
Nice.
an overlay, actually.
I think the latest line 3DS now lets you make custom setups.
It does, but you have to go in and do it by like the pixel count. So it's kind of annoying to do that. But you can definitely do that though.
And Victorian wants to know Rock Band
Try a
Unplugged for
different
PSP, especially for input latency. That's one I have never thought to load on before. Huh. That'd be interesting. I like Rock Band. So what's it like for the PSP though? That's
so that game is more like I don't know if you guys ever played Amplitude and Frequency on PS2. That's kind of what it's more like. Where so you're like on a track and you're switching between different instruments. It's really an awesome version of the game.
Really?
I definitely recommend playing it. It's fun. Yeah, they did a good job with that one. And that's how harmonics kind of got their start. Actually, was with Amplitude and Frequency. So the formula to them is something they've done before.
I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah, it's fun.
Downhill Domination for PS2. I don't know if anyone have that one.
Oh, that's one of my favorite go-tos usually, but I don't have it on my device right now.
I'm not going to dare say if I have enjoyed that game or not, because Rob's going to find another reason why I haven't seen this video.
You know what else is really cool?
I know. I know. It's like, what? I'm watching these things, but I don't watch.
You know what else is really cool about Citra MMJ is fast forward.
Oh, that's
like
nice.
Just having that
having
feature for
fast forward.
3DS, like the being able to set the screens however you want and fast forward makes Citra MMJ still relevant to me.
Is this some sort of plumbing game? What are those characters?
Oh, the graphics are broken though.
Oh yeah,
it's not looking good.
Well, guys,
for Evil Corporation.
Well, guys, how you feeling? You feel like maybe it's time to go on to our weekends or what?
All good.
Actually, and this isn't too bad. There's going to be some shader stutters though, but I don't know. I probably wouldn't consider this that playable.
Yeah, I'm seeing also just some funny graphic stuff happening.
It's running at native.
Okay.
Which is not great on the 3DS.
Well,
yeah, you should be able to play a good amount of 3DS games. Just don't expect all of them. Monster Hunter though, because I know somebody was asking, has there's some patches to lock it to 30, and it fixes a lot of the issues, so you can actually play the full game without any issues. You just have to get those patch codes in there. All right.
that oh yeah, let's plug the merch. Okay, yeah, so we have t-shirts, we have merch. There's often sales on Spreadshop there, and I hope you enjoyed the video today, everybody, and enjoyed this live stream. We're gonna be doing more like this. I really just invite these dudes to come back if we get more handhelds released. You know, if we get them into our houses around the same time. When we have this situation occur again, I'd like to do more of these group streams because, man, it's just so much more fun to do it as a group. It really is, than to be out here on the internet just hunched over, just like, and now we're gonna play GameCube. You know,
I really enjoyed what we did the mini one as well. So it's fun to do this and be able to interact with everybody in the audience and just hang out and play games and check out the handhelds. You know, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's good times. So check out Russ's in-depth review is available now. If you haven't already seen it, check it out. I'm going to add that to the description. Rob, Director Tech Dad, right there, has a video on the way, and Aish as well. So just stay tuned for them.
Hopefully Sunday.
Ooh, this weekend perhaps.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. This has got to be, one of Anbernic's best devices I've ever used so far. And I don't want to say like recency bias. It could be some of that, but I would say I'm the most hyped on this and enjoying it more, having that spark joy feeling on this versus the V and the 556. I thought that was cool. The OLED was cool, but it didn't really come together as like, this is my handheld now. This is one, yes, I feel like I'm going to be taking it. I'm going to be playing it. And really enjoying 4x3 content on it. It's just, it's comfortable, and the sticks give you so much control, and the speakers sound really good too. And you know how I like that audio experience.
It's a nicely balanced device. I think that's what it is.
Price.
And I think for many people, it's going to be appealing just because it does kind of balance everything that you might want to see in a handheld.
Yeah, and I think once we get like Gamma OS on here and just do further optimizations and go crazy with battery life, oh man.
Yeah,
I feel like
it's a greatest hit compilation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like they put it all together. There's nothing new in this handheld. I was thinking about, there's no new components in this. We've seen it in other Anbernic handhelds, but they got it all right. So
I feel like I sounded a little like negative on it over the stream.
We need
it's not that. It's
we
just
need that, man. We need the critical views on this. It's like, what do you want us to be?
I like it.
It's great. It's perfect. Everything's fancy. Look, rainbows and puppy dogs. No,
and the thing is, like, I like it. It's a good handheld. I do feel like it's a little bit late though. Like, I wish this is what they would have kicked off their.
This should have been the first one. Yeah, this should have been the first.
If they would have done that, this would have been so good. But right now, towards the end of kind of like the T820 cycle, it just kind of feels like you guys sat on this a little too long. But I do like it. It's doing a lot of good things.
Yeah, I feel like we wouldn't have this if it wasn't for all the others, because we're like beta testers. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, here's a good idea. Let's put it out, see what hits, and then we'll keep going. And so this is basically a culmination of all of those things over the past year.
And if we decide RP5 or 406H, if you have the extra $50, get the RP5. No question about that.
This D-pad isn't great.
The RP5's D-pad is awesome, and the sticks are the same experience, but they're more recessed, more pocketable in that way. The face buttons are really solid, although I really like the springy tactileness of the mushy rubber membranes on the 406H.
I've said it before. Anbernic makes some of the best face buttons.
So
like,
good.
That is one
thing. They really do.
Have it down. Like, the membrane height is pretty much spot on.
Which drives me nuts because their controller, which is great, great price point, the face buttons are just whack. They're just
Here's the thing with that controller though. I will give them credit because the amount of features you get at that price is pretty crazy. Like, it's gonna feel cheap and all that, but you guys remember when we got the ultimate Bluetooth controller from 8BitDo, how excited we all were for that? And it's like a $60 controller. Well, this $30 controller has a lot of the same features for half the price. So there's
and the ultimate used to be $80 or $100.
Yeah.
So
it's
definitely crazy.
It has that functionality, and it's very utility based, and it's great. But ultimately, the buttons for me, like, I'm just not going to use this. That's
because they didn't make that controller. Let's be honest. They just hired some factory and said, "Can you put this Anbernic logo on this 8BitDo controller and not tell 8BitDo, please?" And that's
give it RGB.
Right.
Give it RGB. Yeah. But this isn't a controller stream. This is a 406H stream, and we're all going to get out of here now. We don't have our final thoughts yet. Really, it's gonna, for me anyways, it's gonna take time. I'll really share that probably end of the year, December, during our Handheld of the Year live stream. Which, if you want to win a free device or participate in our giveaway and give a device, just let Ban know on our team in our Discord, and he'll get you squared away with everything. He'll also, in our announcements channel, Ban has the link for the survey, so you can enter to win the handhelds and decide, what's the best handheld of the year, what's the worst, and everything.
Don't forget to vote right for flop of the year. Everyone knows what they need to vote.
Yeah, you know what to do for flop of the year. Definitely not the MSI Claw. The MSI Claw is the best Windows of the year.
And go subscribe to my channel, because these guys make me feel bad about being the smallest one here. Yeah.
Subscribe to Aish Talks Tech, at Aish Talks Tech, at Retro Tech Dad, at Retro Game Core, or as somebody who's pointing out they didn't understand what Retro Game Core mean. Why am I not pronouncing the corpse?
Corpse. Retro Game Corpse.
Retro Game Corpse. CORPS. And find all of us now on Blue Sky, which is an awesome new social network. It's like my favorite, most peaceful place to go now. It's the following there is smaller now, but we're getting fast movement on there. It's really cool environment, positive people. So check us out on Blue Sky. We're at Retro Handhelds. And these dudes. Aish, do you have a Blue Sky yet?
No, I was just about to ask. Like, are we all jumping on that now? Is that the new hotness?
It's the new hotness.
It's great.
It's really nice. Their algorithm.
I've been trying to use it. Yeah,
it's really nice for recommending stuff. I find new game recommends a lot on there now. It's like,
I was gonna say, I actually get gaming related stuff on Blue Sky, which I like.
I'm gonna open one up as soon as we're off.
It's like Threads was trying to do this, but Threads
they kind of crashed.
Yeah, it's not quite there.
This is one of my favorite handhelds, man. Every time I hold it, it just makes me happy.
Well, with that, everybody, I want to thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to stay in the know for all of those retro handhelds. And a special thanks to all of our patrons, subscribers, premium subscribers, YouTube members. We couldn't do any of the stuff we're doing here without your support and your help. Don't forget to hop in our Discord, chat with us, play some games, and join us all Monday, where we're going to be hanging out with Tech Dweeb on the podcast and playing some Dungeons and Dragons. And I'm sure more retro handheld news will hit by then. We're going to talk about the Odin 2 Portal. Get hyped. Also, I heard there's maybe a delay, so I want to talk about that. I don't know what that is yet. I just saw that come up in chat during the live stream, so I'm going to have to read what the heck that's about, because that'll make me such a sad panda to hear about. Anyway,
especially because Derek and I are talking about which is actually going to come first, the Evo or the Portal.
The Portal.
The Portal still.
Yeah. Portal.
The Evo will be like spring next year.
Right before the stream, I got the INEO DMG in, so that's, I was going to unbox it and show it on stream and compare it, but I didn't have time, and so video probably this weekend about that, right? I can't not make a video immediately about that thing. We'll see. 4x3 content is really coming back strong. 4x3 OLED is really cool, so we'll take a look. But until the next one, everybody, it's from Stubbs with RH. Thanks for joining us on our 406H live stream. On behalf of Rob, Russ, and Aish, take care of those handhelds and each other. And just have a good rest of your weekend.
Bye, guys.
Good night, everyone.
Hi, everyone.